Going on, everybody? How's it going? I'm just trying to figure out this. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, I got comments now, so that's cool. So let's see. Hey, what's going on? I'm only seeing Facebook users again, so I just want you guys to know that. Hello and welcome to the Zoloverse show. We have an awesome show tonight. We're going to be showing some of the Frazetta Museum exclusives. The Frazetta Museum is actually here. Frankie Frazetta from the museum is here. We also have, what's going on, Kevin? Pimp Daddy Satan, Ryder. What's going on? So we're going to have some Easter egg items. There's going to be some little stuff on the sidelines too. You're not, Tyke. You are good to go. So I am going to bring in right now my co-host for the show because he's going to be able to help me out here moving things along. I have Krista here in the house as well. So she's going to be helping us. So I got to keep up with everything going on. So what's going on, Alberto? So I'm going to bring in Craig right now to give me a hand here. So here we go.
I prefer you use my other name, Facebook user.
All right. Facebook user is fine. We'll use you there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show.
All right, cool. So we have a moderator and we have everything going on. So Craig, what's going on today, by the way? I'm just a little curious. What's the deal here? What's going on?
I don't know. We came back from ZoloCon. We had a great time, which the Frazetta Museum was there, and I hope you guys all stopped by the Frazetta table and picked up some awesome merch from them. Some of that merchandise will be available today on the show after we're done talking to Frankie. Is that correct, Mike?
That's absolutely true. It's very cool. And I think you have links and everything too for this. So this is going to be awesome. And we will get to that here in a second.
Guys, get ready to open your wallet because there's some good toys coming your way from the Frazetta Museum. Let me tell you, I got a sneak peek and you're going to love this stuff. But before we get started with Frankie, we had a little promo for Mike and Craig versus the Past.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So guys, next week we have a huge announcement, right? Well,
we do.
Saying anything.
Well, we're going to get to that later, but next week we're announcing a new toy line. But before we even get to that, nonsense, we have an ad for Mike and Craig vs. the Past. So let's roll that promo, shall we?
Let's do it. Yeah, it sounds good.
YouTube's hottest show, Mike and Craig vs. the Past theme song, performed by the one and only Ninja Turtles, is finally here.
Mike and Craig are so handsome.
For just $21.98, YouTube can enjoy the sweet sounds of latex turtles playing fake instruments. You can get this theme song and terrible toy memories only on Napster.
I have nightmares that you wouldn't believe.
I'm gonna kill myself on stage.
Be sure to check out Mike and Craig vs. the Past, only on YouTube.
Awesome. That's awesome. So that's coming up next week.
Yeah,
so,
that's next week's show. But for today's show, we have Frankie Frazetta on the show, grandson to the one and only Frank Frazetta, one of the greatest artists of all time. So, Mike, would you like to actually introduce him?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm going to be bringing on Frankie Frazetta from the museum. He was, if you guys were at ZoloCon, you would have seen the Frazetta Museum table. And actually, we had 3 of the exclusives from the Frazetta figures that we actually brought out earlier this year. So yeah, I would, without further ado, let's bring him on. Let's bring on Frankie, and let's see this.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How are you today?
Oh, lovely. How are you guys?
We are good. Well, I'm good. Mike, are you good?
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
You guys are braving out that Pennsylvania weather right now.
It's been a busy day.
Yeah, the snow's coming down pretty heavy already, so we'll see how it goes for tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, avoid Pennsylvania at all costs. No, except when you're going to visit the Frazetta Museum.
It's definitely a good place. The only good place to come in Pennsylvania, really.
That's very true. That or some random Sheets, because Sheets is
Yeah.
all.
Or Wawa. Well, you guys, Wawa's everywhere now. but
Wawa's more of like a New Jersey thing, I think, right?
We got a ton. Well, so we're right on like the state line of Jersey. I can like throw a stone over to Jersey at this point, so we get Wawa as well.
Okay, so you got the best of both worlds. So, ladies and gentlemen, visit the Frazetta Museum and then check out Wawa and Sheets at the same trip.
I was gonna say I don't know which one would be better, Wawa or the museum, but it's kind of a toss up.
Now they got to sponsor you guys too, so come on.
That'd be lovely.
Be good. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this was awesome. What do you think of ZoloCon? I think it's your first ZoloCon, right?
That was my first like actual convention, and it was honestly great. I had a lot of fun to the point where I'm trying to schedule more conventions now. So I will be doing that. I think I have a couple set up for PowerCon.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be seeing. Yeah, that's going to be awesome too. There'll be more on that, guys. There'll be more on that one also. So this is going to be awesome. We have all kinds of people here in the audience here. So a lot of people sending some love here. So that's awesome. To Frankie, we got some.
What have I done? Now everyone wants to go to Wawa and the Frazetta Museum.
Again, it is not. I would not complain about that day of museum and Wawa.
Yeah.
Guys, and if you're stopping off at the Frazetta Museum, be sure to bring Frankie some Wawa, like a sandwich or
I
something.
appreciate it.
Yeah, look,
Awesome.
we got to get sponsored.
When I go over there. Yeah, we should. We should. We totally should. Yeah, I'm all about the sponsorship. You know that.
Mike and I were briefly sponsored by Trinidad for 5 minutes, and
we got to talk about that. You can't even mention that here. We got to mention it next week.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Actually,
that was an accident, but
yeah, that was horrible.
So let's get into some questions here. If anyone has any questions for Frankie, we're going to open up the floor for some questions too. But Frankie, while we're here, tell us a little bit about the museum, when it opened, and kind of like what people could experience firsthand coming to visit.
Yeah. So my grandparents actually ended up building a museum back in 2000, 2001. They had a grand opening in 2001. After they passed away, so they ran it, Ellie pretty much ran it every weekend. We have the same hours as her, actually. But once they passed away, we ended up getting a museum in 2013, 14 is when we opened it. So we've been open for about 8 years now. We are out in the Poconos. We're open every Thursday to Sunday, 10 to 4. The coolest part about this museum is that Ellie and Frank built it. This was their this was their legacy. Ellie always said, art isn't just for the rich. She meant that as she doesn't like how everybody who has a ton of money always buys original pieces and then nobody gets to see it anymore. It's kind of locked away in a vault. And even Frank was quoted to say if he wanted to be rich, he would have sold everything. But instead, he preferred to keep it and open his own museum. So it's cool to see what they built. It's designed by Frank, essentially. It's it looks exactly like their house, which is right next door. It's Spanish style stucco. They liked that kind of Mediterranean look with everything they owned. But yeah, and then my father, he'll give tours. And if you want to meet the most knowledgeable Frazetta guy that is alive, it's him. I listen to him. So I give my own tours now. But whenever he gives his tours, I like to listen because there's always weird tidbits that I would never think of, or I would have never heard from anybody else, since he was essentially my grandfather's right-hand man growing up. But yeah, it's a great experience. If you've never seen these pieces in real life, it's honestly crazy to see them.
So no matter how many times people come in, they're going to learn something new every single time, right?
Yeah. So actually today there was somebody who came in. This is their second or third time being here. And my mom had asked who gave you the previous tours? And they said, oh, Frank Jr. And she's like, all right, I'll give you the tour this time, because everybody has their own perspective on my grandfather and his art. So we try to at least change it up if you've been here multiple times.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
Wicked cool.
Let's see here. We do have a question coming in for you. Let's see here. Does the artistic talent run in the family?
So technically, yes. My dad was extremely talented, actually. He drew a lot of ants, literally ants, right? And they would be doing the The one I have hanging in my house is them eating like poison berries, and they're all kind of like drunk and just like dead or whatever from the berries. But he always liked kind of the comical, more whimsical stuff that my grandfather did, and he kind of like emulated that. And then he actually, again, something I just learned yesterday, listening to his tour, he said that my grandfather was like, Frankie, you're old enough now that you have to start painting actual things and not just ants. And my dad said at that point, he was like, no, never mind. But he is actually, so we sell master's editions paintings here, which are on like high quality canvas.
Wow.
And my dad will actually touch them up himself. So he'll apply paint to make it more accurate to the original. If kind of our print, it might be like a little off color wise. And then he'll apply gesso to add texture to it to look more like an original piece. So my father's very talented. My sister's very talented as well. Honestly, all of us are pretty talented. It's just that we grew up with this, so we didn't really care much for art. And honestly speaking, with my grandfather, he never really, if you tried to talk to him about art, he would like transition to anything else. He didn't talk about art much. So even though he was Frazetta, to us, he was like grandpa, rather than this like legendary artist. So
no pressure to carry on the legacy there or anything, right?
Not yet. I still remember he did try to get me to draw once, and it was a pig. I must have been like 8 years old, and I still remember it to this day. He had me drawing on his like drawing table, and as every like young child does, they draw pigs like their hooves with like essentially it's like a W. It's very pointy. Sure. And he was like, no, that's not how hooves look. And I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm too young for this. But yeah, so that was the only time I tried to draw in front of him. I know my sister used to draw around him a lot, and he was always trying to teach her. And I feel like if he had, so he passed away when she was like 9 or 10, and had he been around longer, I think she would have really like, she would have been amazing. She has like this crazy talent for art, but again, like none of us really seeing all of this. It's hard to then like say one of us is extremely good at art. We're always going to be compared, and you can't compare to him. Like, I don't care who you are. There really is no comparison. So it's kind of that game where I'd rather, and the other, like, I'd rather just share memories of him and his story versus like put the spotlight on me. So yeah.
It's got to be so weird and surreal to be like, I mean, like for people of like, you know, my generation and Mike's generation, where it's like, this is one of the greatest artists ever, you know, making these badass pieces. And like, you know, we even have like little plastic representations of his characters. And to you, it's just like, no, it's just grandpa, you know. That's so crazy.
So the funny thing is, every time when I used to help my grandmother around the museum and stuff when I was a kid, he would sit out on a stoop, like, and his stoop was like literally there's a museum driveway, and the stoop is also the house driveway. So he'd sit outside, and people would walk in and be like, "Is that Frank?" And we're like, "Yeah, why?" And they're like, can I say hi? I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you be able to say hi to him? He's just like, he's a normal dude. And then like half of them wouldn't even go back out to say hi to him. They'd be like way too afraid, or way too like starstruck to even like, want to talk to him. But every time somebody would, he would always like chat them up and stuff. So it was always like funny. And again, growing up, he was just grandpa. Like he was the guy that literally would have the same canvas on his easel, whiting it out 50 times. And that's all I remember of him, was just like constantly whiting out his pieces. But every time I walked into his studio, he would drop what he was doing, if he was painting or taking photos with his cameras, and like hang out with us or watch us play Super Nintendo. That was just like, again, so it was, I didn't know him as the artist. He like, and in the 90s especially, he kind of like, he wasn't painting as often. All his grandchildren were being born, so all of his focus was on the children at that point. It was more, he honestly painted to support family and support his like hobbies and stuff. Painting was kind of his out and his financial means of surviving.
That is amazing. That is crazy to even hear, because it's like, you know, you don't get to really know the deeper side of artists, you know, and hear why they created these pieces. They're just there to admire, but hearing that, and especially that people were like so like nervous and starstruck, it's like, you know.
My dad tells me stories of like when Clint Eastwood and Stallone and even George Lucas would come here, and they were all like so afraid to meet my grandfather. And it's just like, again, like once you did meet him, he was the most humble, just kind man you would ever meet in your life. And every time I talked to somebody who met him or my grandmother, all they have to say were like these super nice stories about them. And like if they ever said anything bad, it was because like Ellie was very kind. If you crossed a line to like take advantage of her or Frank, because Frank was easily taken advantage of because of his kindness. Like people would trade him cameras for sketches because to him a 10-minute sketch was worth a Leica, like an expensive Leica camera to him, because he loved cameras, and a sketch was worth nothing to him. That was just something he could churn up in 5-10 minutes. So Ellie was very good at catching these people that would try to like kind of finagle their way in or whatever. But otherwise, like they were literally the most kind, like humble people. They never, honestly, like in the museum, if anybody ever comes here, we have a lot of their furnishings from their home in here. And that's all Ellie ever spent money on was like African Oriental furniture. And then Frank only spent money on cameras. That was literally it. So they never, like, they're so frugal. And I think that's just because of the way they grew up. Like, my dad said he remembers being young and like they were barely able to afford food for the kids and everything. So once we actually have a photo of them like holding up a box of like Kellogg's, and it was like a thing where it was like we can finally afford like legit cereal now. So so it took them a while, but again, like they came from super humble beginnings, and Frank never thought anything extremely, like he knew he had this talent, but he wasn't a braggart. He wasn't anything like that. And again, like growing up, he never brought up art. He never tried to push anybody to draw. If we ever did draw and we showed him, he was always like super excited to talk to us about it and explain things. And actually even my favorite story is about one of my favorite pieces called Devil's Generation, or Skull King is what we also call it. I feel like every piece he has like 50 names. But it's no, there's another one in here called like Flying. It's Fire Dragon, but then like Flying Alligator and like all this other stuff. So it's like I don't even know the names to have.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. But Devil's Generation, it's this skeleton essentially with this like spell above his head. They actually just used this for Magic the Gathering. And I asked my dad about that piece because I didn't really know much about it. Nobody really talked about it. It was kind of like an underground, not super popular piece. And he was like, oh, I remember that piece. My grandfather was drawing it, and my dad just came home from school. And my grandfather asked my dad what he had been working on in art class. And my dad said, splatter painting. And my grandfather showed him the piece, and he was like, do you want to try it? So literally he had my dad splatter paint on like this original piece that he was working on. Wow. So yeah, again, like he was just that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he would churn these pieces out. Literally, like my dad would tell me stories of how he would tuck my dad into bed for school the next day and say, the painting will be done in the morning. And then he would just be like, he literally would churn out these masterpieces overnight. So to him, these pieces are worth 8 hours. It's not hundreds of hours where they're worth a lot to him. Like honestly, two of these pieces, hold on, the Cat Girl and Death the Other Three, both of them have an original piece underneath them. So Cat Girl was painted over, Death the Other Three was painted over. Because again, he just didn't like, if it wasn't perfect, it would only take him a couple hours to kind of do it again. So instead of letting anybody see the like imperfect piece, he would just paint over it and let it kind of go to the void. So yeah.
You just blew my mind saying that he would just paint over them, because it's like how many collectors in general would like, even like the celebrities that come in there would want just any variant of what, you know, Frank has done. So wow, that's kind of mind blowing.
Hold on, you want to show you something cool?
Yeah, please, by all means.
Let's do it.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is awesome. You guys are getting a tour of the museum right now. This is fantastic. Oh, I think did he freeze on you?
Yes, he is frozen right now.
Yeah, he's frozen.
He's not frozen on my side.
He's not frozen for you?
No.
He is frozen for me.
He's frozen for you now?
Wait a minute, he just froze
Yeah.
me.
Oh, wait, he's back. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, there you are.
And now he has no audio.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait. Are we? Hold on. No, I'm trying to. Nope. Frankie, I think, has muted his mic somehow. It's saying unmute mic.
But it's not allowing us to unmute it. So it's something a little weird there. What's going on? Let's see.
You know what it is? It's because we're not getting our sponsors from Wawa and Sheets right now, so they cut the audio.
I figured
there he is. Welcome back.
I unplugged my microphone, so like freaked out. All right. let's try again. Hopefully the internet doesn't like go from me walking 10 feet down the museum.
There we go.
Okay. So we're still here. Okay.
We're good.
So,
We're good.
These two pieces, those are the same piece, obviously. Right?
Okay.
So that's Atlantis and Atlantis 2, essentially. So the one, the more like the less vibrant one, the one over on all the way to the far side, that one he was painting, and my father noticed that he was about to white it out. And my dad was like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I don't like it. I'm going to redo it." So my dad said, "Why don't you just repaint, like do a new one?" He said, "I don't have any more canvas." So my dad literally was like, "Hold on, let me grab you a piece of canvas." So we went out and bought him canvas and then gave him canvas. So he redid it. But like we literally have a million examples of all the pieces of art that he has whited out. And that's that's the best example because it literally shows that like there are duplicates out there. And even so publishers would take his original pieces of art, and that was kind of like part of the commission was they got to keep the original. Eventually he started painting duplicates. So there's a painting called Princess of Mars, and there's a duplicate that actually was sold recently. So there were technically two of them out there, and they're very close to each other. Then there's a piece Barbarian with Axe, which was sent to publishers, and that got like stolen by public. It just went missing when publishers had it. So he repainted that one. So, and like, it's actually uncanny how close like the repro is, or like the do-over, the second version is compared to the first. And that just like goes to show how good he was, because he could just replicate everything that he did already. It's like if anybody ever comes to the museum and you look at Atlantis 1 and 2, there's like very subtle differences, and you can tell obviously one isn't complete, but like everything else is so close that it's ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, somebody else brought that up today, where there were famous paintings that are X-rayed and you can see the piece underneath, and how like all the masters, they just did that. That's just what they did. If they didn't like that piece enough, either they couldn't afford a new canvas, so it was cheaper just to paint over the piece they didn't like, or in my grandfather's, that was honestly part of my grandfather's case, or he just didn't like it. It wasn't perfect. He would sometimes like rush a painting out because it was due the next day. So it wasn't like completely perfect. So when he got it back, he would completely redo it. I still remember my grandmother banned him from being in the museum by him, like unsupervised. She caught him one day walking out with a canvas, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I don't like this one. I'm going to change it." So she literally like took it out of his hand and told him he wasn't allowed in the museum. So he would always ask me like, "Hey, can you let me in the museum?" And I'm like, "Grandma would literally shoot me if I ever." So yeah, he wasn't allowed in his own museum. Because,
well, that makes sense. Well, actually, to jump back to this this question here, this is actually really something that I want to ask you is, would the Frazetta Museum ever take any of Frank's original paintings and put them under X-ray and see what your grandfather was actually doing beforehand? Like, is that something you guys have explored?
So, kind of. My dad actually the other day goes, "Frankie, I think there's a painting on the back of one of the originals. Let's go look." So like we took it off, we unwrapped it and everything, took it off the wall, checked the back, and it was empty. But my dad said a lot of his paintings he would paint on the back of as well. So sometimes there's like little scribbles or whatever. But as far as like X-raying or anything, we know what's under every piece. We actually have a book that shows. So actually, no, aim it that way. See that Death Dealer underneath the other Death Dealer?
Of course.
What was underneath it? That was Death Dealer 3, and then up top is Death Dealer 3 Revised. And then over my shoulder here, that was the original Catgirl, and then that's what Catgirl became. So we actually do know what is under every single piece that was whited out. While Variety changed the way the girl looked, and we have like vintage posters of the original way she looked. So we like, that's like, we would honestly, like, I think it would be interesting to do, but we already have the answers to everything. And that's, yeah. So he was never like shy about showing anybody. And again, he never painted to paint necessarily. He painted to like put food on the table. He would draw, he would sketch. He found enjoyment out of it, but most of his, I remember my dad, again, like listening to his tour yesterday, he said that this one time there was a deadline, and it was in the evening. It was when they moved to PA, and I guess kids across the street were coming over to play baseball or stickball. And my dad walked into the studio and said, "Hey, Dad, we're about to play stickball." And he goes, "Should I have a deadline due tomorrow? I can't." And then he was like, "Wait, never mind, let me just go." So like art came second to baseball family, cameras. So again, he loved art and he was passionate about it. And I feel like a lot of people are always disappointed when they hear like Frank put art like last compared to everything else. But that's what he did. He was very talented at it. So he pursued it and he enjoyed it. But compared to, I remember before he passed away, probably when I was like 15, 16. So towards his later years, one day he asked me, he was like, do you think I made a mistake not playing baseball versus doing my art? Because he was drafted to play professional baseball when he was like 17 or 19. Yeah, he was this, I swear to God, if you ever saw him, you wouldn't know he was an artist. He was the most athletic, like good looking dude you'd ever, like 100% like Brooklyn Italian looking guy, right? Yeah, so he was drafted to play baseball when he was a kid. And so he always had that regret of like, did I make the wrong decision? And I just told him, I was like, you would have maybe been a very good baseball player, but you wouldn't have been the artist you are today had you not pursued that completely. And he was like, yeah, but I could have gone back and like still done well in art. I was like, you wouldn't have even been close to this. And back in the day, like, you know, your Babe Ruth, your Lou Gehrig's and stuff, but that was like hard to come by. Same with art. But I like, he just had that natural talent for both, but art was more, to me, it was like way more rare than to be a baseball player. To be an insane artist back in that day was just like, again, he was a naturally born talent. So yeah, that was always like his biggest question. That was the only time he's ever like showed any kind of lack of confidence in a decision he's made. He was always very confident, very just like, yeah. So it was like, it was a weird question that took me off guard because I was like, Grandpa's never asked me anything like this before, but
he got a little too deep with you there. It's just,
yeah,
you know.
it was like weird for him because every time I'd go over, it'd be like, what Super Nintendo game do you want to play? Or like, I got new, like he always had a candy jar. So he like the Frazettas were all addicted to sugar. My dad literally like will not eat meals. He'll just eat a ton of candy.
That makes sense. That's healthy. Yeah.
It's the Italian blood that keeps us going though. Yeah. So we lived pretty long just on diets of candy. But so he'd always have a candy jar with like peach rings and stuff. And we'd literally just go over and eat a ton of candy and play Super Nintendo. That was kind of like, or checker. So we would play chess with my grandpa and chess with my grandma. That's like that. Those were their games. So if you want to play checkers, you play with Frank. If you want to play chess, you play with Ellie.
So I gotta break a story here, and Frankie, you're the only person on earth that could answer this for us. What was the legendary Frank Frazetta's favorite Super Nintendo game?
Oh man. So that's the real question is to watch or to play? Because to play, I think it was Mario.
Okay, awesome.
He liked Super Mario Bros. We played a lot of Battletoad. Yeah, Frank did play a lot of Mario. It was mainly, so when the grandkids came over, it was more about watching us play and like hanging out with us versus him playing. But he did play himself a little bit. We played Paperboy a lot. That was like a big game.
Yes.
Paperboy Battletoads. There's one I can never think of the name of. I was talking to somebody about it yesterday, but like it's a co-op game and you're both in these spaceships and there's like bosses that are like watermelons and stuff. Like I remember the first boss is a watermelon. It was the weirdest game, but it was actually really fun to play.
Can anyone in the comment section answer this? Because this would be mind blowing.
I don't remember what the hell it was, but that was a fun one. But it was mainly, we played a lot of that game. Oh, Chippendale Rescue Rangers we played a lot of too.
Yes, that game was awesome.
Stinger, yeah, it was Stinger. I'm pretty sure that was it. So yeah, a lot of Stinger. That was probably our favorite game to play. My cousin Jacob, Heidi's kid, would always go to his house as well, and we always play Stinger and stuff together. But yeah, so I'd probably vote and say Mario was his favorite, but
that's
ours
crazy.
Stinger. How about Super Metroid? You guys ever play that?
No.
Oh, that's great.
We had like a stack of games, but it was like a special, like certain specific three that we always played, and it was mainly Stinger, Paperboy, Chip and Dale over Mario, but because Mario was single player and like it was I have a twin, so we would go over and play the co-op games together. And it was mainly Chip and Dale was co-op, and then Stinger was co-op. So we stuck with those for the most part.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. I think we had a few questions here. So the one on the top, I think Craig so
somebody wants.
Yeah, you suggested a painting and or a book, and they absolutely loved it. It's Tyke, right there.
That's probably fantastic paintings. It's a good book.
Yep. Yeah, he has fantastic paintings.
Someone actually on top did ask for Frankie, what was your favorite piece of your grandfather's?
So,
but you can only pick one.
Okay, so that's the thing is it has changed throughout the years.
Sure.
And I always ask my dad, like, because he was the one that picked the pieces that are in the museum. And I would always ask him, what about this piece? Why did you pick this one and that one? And there's always stories behind each. Like when he actually picked the pieces, he knew better than anybody what each piece meant to my grandmother and grandfather and the stories behind them. So as I've grown older, I've found a deeper respect for the piece, not only for its aesthetics, but for the background of it. Growing up, though, it was Dracula versus Wolf, or Dracula meets the Wolfman.
Cool.
What's funny, okay. You want to hear a really cool story about that one, though?
Yeah.
So if you can think of it, it's got a very busy background. The cathedrals are all broken down in the back. It's very kind of like complicated and descriptive background. My grandfather hated doing anything that would distract your eye. So that's why I liked that piece. And I loved all his horror pieces. Kirk Hammett owns like all of them. And I'm really jealous.
Absolutely.
So anyway, it turns out his friend Roy Krenkel did the background of that one. And then he painted the foreground. So that's why it was so complicated. Krenkel did a lot of inks where it was very, we have a Krenkel in here that's an original. That was a wedding gift to Frank and Ellie. But it's like, it's so well drawn, but so busy. And yeah, so Krenkel would actually draw a couple of backgrounds for Frank. And then because Frank was a very unmotivated artist, he'd always, again, try to play baseball or something instead of paint. Frank would help push him along to do pieces. So that was my favorite growing up. Nowadays, I think my favorite, it's a toss-up between Night Stalker and Reign of Wizardry. Reign is a piece nobody knows about because my grandmother didn't let anybody see it. It was not allowed to leave my grandfather's studio. It was his depiction of hell. Ellie was a very,
wow.
It's that.
Right there.
I would show it, but I don't know how PG we're going on this show.
No, we're good. No, please. You can.
Oh, we're terrible. We're the worst people ever.
Because this, again, Frank did a lot of gory stuff and like messed up stuff. This destroys everything as far as
the worse you could be on these shows, the better. So you're good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So this is
we're testing the waters right now. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah. So yeah,
dude,
nobody knows about this piece. Again, it's like, and that's why I like it, is growing up, I saw a couple of pieces myself, like every day. Rain was one of them. And then you had like Wild Ride because he'd wipe the girl out. There's like a National Lampoon one where he'd wipe the girl's face out. So it was mainly pieces that he was like redoing, that I saw growing up, or like his left-handers that he was working on. But Rain itself, again, he painted it in the 60s. So it was one of his earlier pieces. And Ellie, being a devout Christian, like she was at church every Sunday. She had the Bible near her bedside. Like she was very big Christian. Frank wasn't much into religion. I don't remember him ever going to church with us. So he drew this, and he always used to beg Ellie to let it like be shown in the museum or do anything with it, because this wasn't a piece that was commissioned. And back in the 60s, every piece he did pretty much was a commissioned piece. So for this to not be a commission, kind of be his own piece, was important to him. But she said, there's no way this is ever leaving your house. So even his room, she hated seeing it. So that's why it's my favorite piece. Growing up, this was the piece I saw the most. And then learning about like the backstory of why it was always in the house, it was just like that kind of just like was the cherry on top for me. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So actually, when we got this piece too, it was being whited out. It was in the process of being whited out. There was white gesso on the bottom, and it was able to be removed. So we took some of it off. So the bottom's a little blurred compared to how sharp it used to be back in the day.
Right.
Yeah. So again, that's probably my favorite piece, just because of what it meant to my family. And we still have it. So the easel it's sitting on is his original easel that we got like after he passed away. We have his easel, and then his palette is actually, let me see, it's hard to actually aim with this thing. So that's his original palette.
Guys, you are getting some crazy exclusives here. This is like mind blowing.
Yeah. So we say we leave it on the easel out of respect for Ellie, because she didn't let it leave his room. So technically still have it on the easel, so we're like trying to respect her wishes a little bit. But it is important for everybody to see his pieces and everything he's done, really, because he's done so much. And even like for me, who I'm turning 31 soon, and I grew up with him as my grandfather, I see new images that he's done every single day. So it's actually it's nuts how many pieces he's done. But yeah, so I'd probably say Rain is. I know when my siblings come to splitting the pieces, Rain would probably be my number one choice, along with Night Stalker.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like Night Stalker.
Now,
I
now
like
the piece you just showed us, that was called what again?
Reign of Wizardry.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. I like that piece myself because that's a conversation thing, and that's what I wanted to make the logo when we actually did the logo with their.
Yeah.
We had a couple choices, but the other ones weren't able to use. So I was like, well, that's perfect. Let's do that.
Yeah. No,
And-
it's a great piece.
Night Stalker also is one of my other favorites. I really like that piece.
I was gonna say it's funny because Night Stalker nobody really knows about, and then when they find out about it, it's like their favorite piece. Again, like seeing Night Stalker in person shows how well my grandfather was able to implement his techniques. So he painted on either canvas board or like canvas or masonite. So the whole reason he even started painting on masonite was one night he had a deadline due the next morning, and it turns out he was out of canvas. So he didn't know what to do. He ended up ripping up his floorboards, and underneath your subflooring is like masonite. So he ripped it up and started painting on it, and then discovered that he preferred the way paint was like it was laid down on masonite versus canvas. So most of his later pieces, like Civil Warrior, Death Dealer 3, I think not the Huns. I don't. No,
So nobody's house was safe so long as he was painting.
No, seriously. So yeah, so he painted on masonite, but so masonite is like brown. It's this gorgeous, like kind of deep brown. And so there's a piece called Neanderthals and Land of Terror where pretty much the whole background is just masonite. He didn't even paint like anything other than just the foreground. And in Night Stalker, he implements it so well because the whole piece looks like it's painted. Like the sky looks painted black, the foreground looks painted brown. Even Night Stalker looks fully painted, but his calf isn't even painted. Most of the foreground isn't painted. A lot of the background isn't painted. And actually there's like a little town he's looking over. You could see the pen lines mapping out the town, and he just never decided to cover up the pen lines. But Night Stalker is like seeing it in person. He uses like all greens to paint Night Stalker. He doesn't even use browns on him. So that's my favorite piece to show people in person, I think, because of how gorgeous it is and how essentially like perfectly implemented it was. I think that was one of his best pieces personally.
That wow, see, like and like when people come to the museum, like you tell them some of these stories too, right?
Oh yeah. These are all the things I like to go through. And again, it depends who you get the tour from. My mom is very like she grew up with him as like my father-in-law and like grandpa type deal. I grew up with him as grandpa. My dad grew up with him as dad, but like I like to tell people these stories because you don't really know them. And like growing up with him or like my dad knows everything about everything when it comes to my grandfather. He literally was with him like 24/7. If my grandfather wasn't at our house, my dad was over at his house. That's just how it works. So there's each piece my dad chose, there's a story behind it, and there's a reason that he chose it. How many versions of Catgirl? Actually, that's a great question. I think like 5 if you count prelims and stuff.
Wow.
So actually I don't know if I'd even be able to, if you could pick it up, but okay, actually my camera picks it up perfectly. Do you see above hold on, right there, do you see the cat that's above my finger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not actually there. There's no cat there. That's varnish that was painted over the cat in the original one. So there's there's no cat there. Hold on, I gotta show you because it's actually hilarious. But yeah, there is absolutely no cat up there. Yeah, no cat.
Get out of here.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so guys, every time you visit the Frazetta Museum, anytime you're in Pennsylvania, you have to get each family member to give you the tour.
Yeah.
So keep going.
If we're
and you hear new stories every time.
My dad gave like a 2-hour tour yesterday. It was nuts. Like he was just going over everything. And I was just listening so intently. I'm like, what can I learn today? So yeah, if we're a little bit slower and you catch my dad, it's just like a smorgasbord. And again, I'm trying to retain as much knowledge as I can right now, because once my dad passes, like it's gone. It is 100% gone because all the other, like all of his siblings essentially moved away. Holly and her kids moved away when her oldest was 3. Heidi and her kids moved away when her oldest was 10. And then it was us for the rest of the time. And again, my father was 55 when my grandfather passed. So it was 55 years of knowledge and working with his mom and dad. So they like it's amazing how many things he knows. And like, I know recently there was an argument on Facebook about like Conan and different, like everybody said somebody said Frazetta hated the Conan books. And then other people were like, no, Frazetta loved the Conan books. And I asked my dad, I was like, what is the actual answer? And he said, Grandpa never read them. He would have his friends read the books, give him descriptions, and then point to pages that he should read to get descriptions of the characters. So he would skim pages. He did say that he was a great writer from the pages he skimmed, but he never actually read the Conan books. And like, again, there's like, every time, because I'm running the social medias now, so every time questions pop up, I'm like, I need to ask my dad because I have no idea how to answer these questions. So yeah, again, like coming to the museum, my dad could talk about every piece for like 30 minutes easy. And I could talk about every piece for probably 5 or 10. No, not really. Depends on the piece. I could talk about most of them for 10, but
It depends. Do you want the long tour or are you like, pressed for time, go for the short tour? So
you actually do ask people too, or like how much time you want the tour, like how long you want the tour to be.
That's awesome.
When my dad was doing this tour yesterday, I was like, are you trying to break records with the longest tour given? Because that was insane. But yeah, again, from him growing up, and he worked with my grandmother and grandfather with the business. So he knew everything about everything with their business, what they did, why they did things. So again, like listening to him tell all these stories, it's like, holy crap, man, there's like so much to know and so much to learn. And like, even my girlfriend helps me take photos for our website, and she's been like researching them a little bit. So I'm learning things from what she's telling me of like, it's just, there's so much to know about him. And again, my father, like he knows everything. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I actually have to jump in and ask a question. So obviously Frank Frazetta inspired many, many generations of, characters and storylines and everything like that. So one of the things that inspired was, obviously He-Man, and that was like a big thing for 80 kids. And as an 80s kid myself, we had the He-Man figures, 5.5-inch figures, which Mike is now doing, who does the Frazetta line, the first ever Frazetta figures in 5.5 with the 80s kids in mind to fulfill our childhood fantasies of owning these pieces. Frankie, for you, what was it like seeing these figures come to life of your grandfather's art and physically being able to play with them and, pose them for the first time?
It was cool. Honestly, I never really grew up with figures much. But now that I'm like actually in this and seeing them actually come to life, it's awesome. Every new thing that comes out, like I was really excited to go to ZoloCon to actually see these figures because showing us for so long, and it's like, all right, let me actually I want to actually see these because we had never seen them until we actually even got to the con, like that Friday night. And honestly, they're great. I love them. Honestly, my favorite is probably Jungle Lord because of the fact that you made it black and white, just like the inked image. So I would actually say that one's my favorite. Death Dealer is obviously cool. Everybody loves Death Dealer, but the genius behind making Jungle Lord black and white, I thought that was a really cool spin.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to do, I'm a big fan of test shots, so I love the test shots, and you guys literally have the factory test shots. It means it's the very first run of the figures before they even put paint to them, so it works. So it has a higher collector value because usually they're the things that people don't get. They're usually getting the ones that are after painted, and then they get them, there's a whole bunch of runs that goes through the factory with these. This version of the figure, as a matter of fact, I have them right here now that you're mentioning them, but that character, the paint applications, this was shot in black and these were shot in white. So this is the actual version coming straight out of the tool, which people absolutely love. So that, and we have the cat that I have here. So he actually comes with the cat. The standard version doesn't, but the museum version comes with the cat also. So
Can we show the carded version of that for the first time?
Absolutely. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. If you want to go show that off, and that's
there we are.
The figure right there. So yeah, it's it's really wild to see these figures come to life also. And I've always wanted to, when I first started this journey, I want to say 11, well, going on 11 years ago, I wanted to do Frazetta. That was the very first thing that came to my mind, because a lot of my characters, all the fantasy characters, are inspired by Frazetta at one point or another. So I wanted to do something in the spin of that. So when I had the chance to talk to, Frank Jr. and your mom about it at Schiller Theater years ago, I was sold. I was like, you know what? This is awesome. I want to do it. This is cool. So yeah, that's awesome. And then you're going to see the other versions too, because we're going to have them up there as well. So very, very awesome stuff.
Are we allowed to show the other carded figures for the
please,
museum?
let's go ahead and show those, because we can actually put them up for claim. Actually, it's probably a good idea to actually start those to let the guys kind of get involved. And if they want these, because I know there's a lot of people that wanted these toys.
Yeah, totally.
The museum stuff. But so we have 3 figures available. There's going to be the obviously the Death Dealer, which people have seen here. It has the Walter Harris head sculpt, and this is the I want to say is this version 1, Frankie? Is that what this is? Not the painting, but the actual figure, because of the green. There's the green version 1 and 2, right? And then it goes to 3.
Oh man, so that was the thing with Death Dealer, is that a lot of time it was up for interpretation. 1 and 2, it was kind of like a bluish. It was weird. It was kind of just pale. But my grandfather never wanted Death Dealer to be obvious. So that's the cool part when you make these figures, is that we allow you guys to, we allow you to do whatever you want with the skin color and stuff, because he never really showed it. In a couple of the pieces, again, it was either pale or bluish or greenish. He didn't really, in Death Dealer 3 behind me, I think that one's more green than any of them. At least Death Dealer 3 revised. Death Dealer 3, the first one is more like a pale. So it depends. It honestly depends on which Death Dealer you're looking at, or your own interpretation of it. So yeah, he never allowed that character to really shine. Even nobody really knows what his armor looks like. I know with the statues we've done in the past, they're just what do we do with the armor? And we're I don't know, whatever you want, really, just make it look good. As long as we're cool with it, we'll give you the green light. So yeah, it depends on the piece, but yeah, sometimes it's green, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's pale.
Jonathan,
yeah, actually, this is a great comment here. Green is perfect. I never thought of him as human. Yeah, that's so true, because even as a kid, the first time you see that, you're wow, that's not of this earth. That's not a dude. That's something beyond comprehension.
I was gonna say, don't segue this into Frankie. What is Death Dealer? Because nobody knows.
No, Frankie, what is Death Dealer?
I actually
philosophical question.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to the artist though. So John Alvis from Alvis Underground, or John Crum here on Facebook, actually did the sculpture of the Death Dealer's armor, the axe. He worked such a long time on getting that axe bend correct. Let me see if I could find one of these here. I should have one of them.
Oh no, Frankie, what have you done? Now everyone's going to ask you what a Death Dealer is.
Okay. So there are theories, right? But the main one, once Mike is
left the show,
I would say there is a story behind Death Dealer and why he actually painted Death Dealer, and honestly why 3 was revised, that I can get into. But yeah, essentially, Frank, people were saying that my grandfather couldn't make a character of his own. Yeah, that bend is really nice.
He was very he was very he was studying this bend for a while, and he's he was so happy with the ending result of this. And he did the he did the saber, which was actually really cool too, because that's supposed to hang off of him. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to do something that didn't actually involve too much chain, because obviously that messes with paint. So we're just trying there was a lot of questions that we had when we first started with this. And it's okay, how do we want to do it? And then the armor turned out so fantastic too, which I have here. 1 minute. Positive I have it in here, but go ahead.
Frankie, you were saying what Death Dealer is the theory.
I'm trying to think which part of the theory, but yeah, Pimp Daddy is kind of right. He does deal out death. Oh, so people were criticizing my grandfather and saying that he couldn't actually make a character for himself, because at that point he had only done commissions of like Conan, the Civil Warrior, and all that. So he said, all right, let me show them what I can do. So he did Civil Warrior, and then 2 weeks later he did Death Dealer, which then overshadowed Civil Warrior by a long shot. And he proved that, like, that was the whole point of him doing Death Dealer, was people were saying he couldn't do his own character.
Sure.
So he painted himself. But a lot of times his characters were him. Like, he would paint, I know a lot of artists do paint their characters like-minded to themselves, like jawlines, everything like that. So actually, if you look at his older comics, all of his men look like Brooklyn Italian men. So they looked like him. Death Dealer 3, he wasn't feeling well when he painted. There's a long story behind it, but essentially he wasn't feeling healthy or feeling well. He was dealing with an illness for like 8 years. So he's a very like sullen looking Death Dealer. He's not super confident.
Yeah.
My grandfather they found out what it was. It was thyroid disease. They got him on medication, so he felt better. So he said, this isn't what Death Dealer represents. I feel better now. So he repainted it to show a more confident Death Dealer, which is how he felt. So Death Dealer was kind of him, to be honest. That's like the theory. That is kind of how it worked. He painted his character to be him. That was the type of artist he was.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Wow.
So,
my mind's blown on that.
yeah, no, that's awesome. I remember, I remember hearing the story, and I was just like, I was mind blown too. Like hearing that in the museum was just like, wow, it's awesome.
That's powerful to hear how he like incorporated himself into his art. You know.
Yeah.
You got to be up close and personal with these paintings, though. Like when you go to the museum, it's one thing to see them across the screen. It's another thing to just be right in front of them. I mean, it's I can't say that enough. You have to visit this, check this out. It is unreal, just absolutely unreal.
Again, every day that I'm in here, I'm finding new things. And like, I've started painting miniatures myself. So I was looking at the Huns yesterday, just like literally my face was like right up against it looking at it. And I was like, holy crap, the amount of like random splotches of yellow or purple he threw into this, you wouldn't know from like 2 feet away. But when you get close, it's just there. Have a good night. But yeah, it's again, like seeing them in person is a completely different animal. It's insane to see them. And like, I always tell people, like, I wish we could show I wish there was a way to transport these pieces to people, or I wish my grandfather was still alive to talk to people about these pieces, or for me to ask him questions. Because again, when I was a kid, he was grandpa. He wasn't this artist that I didn't have any questions for him, because first off, he was like, I didn't think he was going to pass as abruptly as he did. It was kind of just a quick random thing that occurred. So I thought I had more time with him. But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's so many questions there. I think somebody was asking earlier if I ever asked him to paint anything for me, as far as like my favorite characters. Never, literally never. I think one of my cousins asked him one time, and my neighbor asked him to paint something for his like band or something, and he would. But like, to me, art was like, growing up in a household where art was like your way of living. Like, it was normal. Like, art was normalcy. So I didn't think anything of it being special. So I never thought, Grandpa, can you draw me something? He did draw every grandkid a caricature of themselves when they were toddlers. So every grandchild has a caricature. But other than that, he wouldn't really, I mean, I've never asked him. Like, my friends and I got into like LARPing and all like World of Warcraft and stuff. So I wish that, like, we always talked about it. We're like, we wish your grandfather was still alive so we could draw like all of us like all geared up and stuff. But sadly, that can't happen.
I have no doubt if your grandfather was still here, he would be doing the cover art for Stranger Things. Like, no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, he'd be all involved in all that.
Mm-hmm. My mom always brings up Stranger Things in her tour. I don't remember what it's about, but I think there was an influence in Stranger Things from my grandfather too.
Oh, sure.
Like, even there's like Narnia. There's the Ice Queen being pulled by polar bears. Like, that was there's so many like direct influences that we have people come, or even at the con, people would come up to me and be like, his work looks very familiar, but I don't know who he is. And it's like, let me tell you why it looks familiar, because literally anything you do, or like most of the stuff in this convention, is probably influenced by Frazetta. So again, it's like, it's so cool to talk to people about these things. And like, even if you're not a huge Frazetta fan, and you don't know much about him, there's tons to talk about. Or if you know everything about him, I bet you, like, we can tell you even more. So again, it's just a great experience, and it's so fun to be here and talk to people about all these things, because everybody's so excited. And so like grateful that we're able to pass this knowledge on to him.
Yeah, for sure. And yes, his horror pieces are just iconic.
His horrors are my favorite.
Yeah.
Kirk Hammett bought them all. He has every single one of them.
Of course he does. He has everything horror.
Who was
Yeah,
that?
so Kirk Hammett,
Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got all the original, like, I mean, what's behind me are like, posters, but like Kirk has like the original Dracula, Frankenstein, all like the originals in his museum. I believe his museum's up in what, Salem, or he had it in. Yeah,
I know he was sold Executioner like 2 years back.
Yeah.
So I think he just had too many, and maybe somebody was like, "You got to get rid of him." But yeah, he has like Wolfman Meets Dracula. He's got Bride of Dracula. He's got all the cool pieces, and I was always envious growing up because I'm like, those are the ones I want.
Oh, that's a great question.
Tours to celebrities. Not personally, since I just started doing this. I'm sure my parents have. Mainly when celebrities come to the museum, it's like kind of a call of like, hey, can I come in? So it's less of it's kind of a tour, but more of like a, hey, let's hang out and talk about things. Again, as far as celebrities, Clint Eastwood's been here, Stallone's been here, Lucas has been here, Schwarzenegger. I don't think he's ever been here, but they've spoken a ton. Yeah, I met Triple H a bunch. Jerry the King Lawler's been here. We used to go to wrestling matches all the time. Obviously, Kirk Hammett.
Sure.
All that was back in the day of Frank and Ellie. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people don't know we're here. Even at the convention, everybody's like, didn't know you guys existed still. Or my mom, every day, she's like, oh, we're the best kept secret in the Poconos. I'm just like, that's nothing to brag about. We need to tell people. But
No.
yeah.
The Poconos was known for two things, really. It was like what? Well, you guys obviously now, and what the cheesy Mount Airy Lodge commercials from the 80s,
or like Caesar. Yeah.
Or Caesar, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys had Snydersville Diner though, so I can honestly say that was the way.
Yeah, we have a lot of good diners, to be honest.
Back in the day, like we used to drive up there just for pie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like drive for hours.
This one has me. This is actually a good question. Knowing how dark he is and everything, has Danzig ever made his way there?
That's not a question I know, actually. I don't believe anybody ever mentioned Danzig. I know we know Danzig. We are all fans of Danzig. My mom was actually talking about him yesterday because we have something we want to work on with other artists, maybe. But yeah, Danzig he's always done great work. As far as
if you ever do anything with him, invite us down. We'll hang out.
Again, there's like a lot of things where I'm trying to branch out now and speak to all these people because the first couple of years that we had the museum open, it was a struggle. Like we weren't doing super well. Honestly, what's crazy and ironic is that COVID was one of our best years. That was the first year we started really picking up it was just like people needed to get out of the house to do anything. And we were here. So they came out and yeah, that was the first year we actually turned a profit in the museum. So we're able to start branching out and putting actual money into doing other things and meeting other people and bigger projects. So yeah, other artists, and actually we're working on building an addition on the museum this year. We had a super generous donation from somebody, and obviously with the support that everybody else gives us, we're able to start adding onto the museum so we can put more pieces in. So we would like to actually possibly start featuring other artists in here. Right now, we're literally jam-packed. I always mention my mom, we look like a thrift store in half of the place because it's just everywhere. Which is a big reason why we haven't had anybody featured at any artists, but that is also kind of in the plans to do. But yeah, I love Danzig. There's a lot of guys I really like that I would love to meet. I know Grinberg is one of my favorites as far as how well he draws Frazetta-esque things. So I've met Grinberg a couple of times if anybody knows who he is, but he's done his works are always so close to my grandfather. I always felt weird admitting it because a lot of people are influenced by my grandfather. And then there are people who are Frazetta clones, essentially. They try to 100% emulate. But I always say, Tom, if I had to choose one person in the world to do a Frazetta comic or something, I like Grinberg. Personally, I think Grinberg is I always tell my dad, I'm Grinberg is so close to grandpa with comics. He's probably 95% of the way there, but the extra 5 is huge. But he's still so close. But
that's some endorsement.
No. The thing is I do have my favorite artists. I really do. Grinberg was one of them. And then I just have a bunch of other guys that I follow all the time. But yeah, so Danzig would be great. There's there's a lot that I would love to meet and kind of hang out with at the museum.
That's awesome. No, that is really awesome.
Yeah.
Have I'm just looking off to the side now. So all three figures for the Frazetta Museum. Mike, do you want to talk about that for a sec? The
Sure.
three exclusives.
Yeah, so we have the so we have the death dealer, as you've just pointed out here. Okay. And then we have the flesh eaters, which is the like a bronze statue style flesh eater. Now, guys, he does have the two heads that come in the package are the standard death dealer heads, but again, there's only 100 pieces of each of these made, and some of those pieces went at ZoloCon, so these are very limited. Okay, so there's not too many of these left. But I'm going to let you know that you guys have the inside scoop today to get what you want on these. And the last one is going to be obviously the Jungle Lord, which we showed before. And what we're going to do here is, can you guys hear me okay? Because my thing
You're good.
is okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, just I'm sorry to cut you off. So let's just do a quick rundown for the folks here on the numbers that are made of each piece. So how many flesh eaters were made?
They're all 100 of each. There was only
100
pieces made.
100 and 100.
I know. Yeah, there's 100 of each piece made. I had previous claims already from folks already. So if you guys are wanting them, Death Dealer is 100 and the other guys are 75 each. Okay. So what you want to do is if you want to get those, so we got Pimp Daddy Satan claiming he wants a green Death Dealer. You have that on here? And I don't see on, so I just want to make sure I see on the right side. But yeah, it's 100 for the Death Dealer, and then it's 75 for the other guys. So you have 75 for which is so I got Ashley McDonald claiming Death Dealer also, and then the other guys, like I said, is 75 each. So you have the Jungle Lord, and then you have the Flesh Eaters.
And how much is each figure, Mike?
I just said that it's 100 for the Death Dealer, and it's 75 for the Jungle Lord and 75 for the Flesh Eaters. So
got it. And then there was 100 of each made.
There's 100 of each made. That's it. Yep. So some of the other guys have already been so I have claims on some other guys here too. So let's see.
So this is where we throw the ball to Krista to start.
So we got David Jackson claiming one Death Dealer. If you're a Facebook user or whatever, just say your name and what you're claiming. Chaos Collectibles. So I think this is Chad Seeley is claiming a Death Dealer also.
Frankie gets to see how this gets crazy now. Like people
like an auction site.
Yeah.
I do want to say, like,
gone through the museum, yes. Yep. And
say everybody who purchases from us, like, we do appreciate it. We're not government funded. Like, to keep the museum and the property open, that's out of our pocket. So really anything you ever purchase from us or our store is like that goes directly back into the museum. Or putting a new edition. We're planning on buying art back. So like all of that goes back into like you guys, because it goes back into the amount of stuff you can view and all that. I know somebody asked if we have them in the shop, in the store, in the museum. We do have like 5 of each, maybe in house. They're not online, but I do have them actually in our shop. So if you ever visit here, we do have.
We have 2 James Pentecost claiming 2 Death Dealers and 1 of each Jungle Lord and 1 Flesh Eater. I got Kevin Gould claiming Death Dealer. Guys, thank you so much. Every single purchase that you make is going directly for these figures is going directly to the museum. And I just, so you guys are doing an awesome thing here, and it kind of like furthers the cause and what we're kind of wanting to move forward with. And see more of these cool things, so that'd be awesome. Let's see here. So Chad, yes, I got you, buddy. But yeah, it's very awesome. And it's only 100 made of these figures. So that's the price points obviously are more on them, but they're
guys,
absolutely awesome.
Just to show you again, we have the Jungle Lord, the Death Dealer, and the Flesh Eater.
And I have claims also. I got a few ones from earlier here, so I'll go ahead.
Facebook user, you're gonna have to just put your name down. Claim all 3. We just need a name for you.
I got Facebook user claiming all 3. Okay, so I got Lassie. Lassie's claiming 2 Death Dealers, 1 Hercules, and I think he's claiming 1 of the Flesh Eaters, but I got to see on that. if they have different heads, he was asking. So like I think it's one of those also. So I'll get him also.
We got Nikki claiming all three in
All three is dedicated to Lord and Western.
yes. And
So
who
we
is the Facebook user? I'm trying to think of who
the
that is.
person who claimed 3 was Nick Moorhead.
Nick Moorhead is claiming all three. Nick Moorhead claims all. Oh, you see that?
I see everything.
Okay.
Kind of like very
Okay. Hector, what's going on, buddy? What's going on? Let's see here. We have Nick Sanchez. Guys, all three of these. Oh, yeah. Nick Sanchez is absolutely correct. All of them are absolutely awesome. Like, if you have them in hand, it's definitely worth putting them up on your shelf. I'll tell you that right now. Like, once these are gone, that's it. Like, I am not making these particular characters again. And the museum wouldn't be doing this. What we would end up doing is going with other particular figures later on. So get in on the action now because these are only going to skyrocket.
The claims are.
What was that?
We are being asked, what are the claims? How much?
How much are the claims? Who is the Facebook user that's asking that? Cody Biddle. It's 100 for Death Dealer and 75 for the Flesh Eaters and 75 for Jungle Lord. And there are only 100 of each piece made. So you're getting, and this is the Frazetta museum exclusives that you're seeing here.
And the Flesh Eater is a bronze tone, is that correct?
Yes, he's like a bronze statue, like a lot of the museum pieces that they have are statues. So I wanted to go with something that was going to be pretty close to what they're doing. So,
and guys, that is I know it's like hard to see with the photo. That is a Death Dealer variant. The head is different. The arms are different too, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, it's different color. The head's different color, and actually the paint schemes on the accessories, like the guards and stuff, are different color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, while we have you here, Frankie, do you have a favorite of these 3 figures?
Jungle Lord, just because
Jungle Lord.
it's the black and white like take on it was like, again, that was ingenious. I loved the fact that
thank you.
You guys made it black and white.
That looks sick.
So this is the only Jungle Lord that actually comes with a cat too. The actual regular Jungle Lord does not come with the cat. You get the cat with this version, and he's also in white. So you have that. You can see that there.
And then if you really want to get artsy, you should buy 2, and then you could test your Frank Frazetta paint skills and then paint it yourself.
So what's really neat about these, and I don't know if I talked to you, Frankie, about this, is on these figures here, and I'm going to pull off his armor real quick. So each one of the figures are interchangeable, right? So you can change out the limbs, and if you had like other limbs, you can make various characters, like different characters here. So here's a limb that I'm just going to hook right up to that, and you could see the difference in what you're able to do here. So each one, the legs are on a ball joint and the arms are. So we started this, like 10 years or 11 years ago now with the first interchangeable 5.5 action figure that we have. So it was or first action figure back, I should say, besides like Mantech. But
don't make me do it. I'll do it.
But it was it gives you that. It allows you to basically be able to change this up if you wanted to. So let's say you want this Jungle Lord to be.
Mike, I'm cutting you off real quick because we're getting bogged down. Krista, Tyke will take 2 more Flesh Eaters.
I got him.
She has them.
Okay. Yes, I agree with that as a cat person. Yes, grab an extra one and paint it to look like your house cat. That's awesome.
Yes.
Dave, we're cool. Thank you, brother, for being in here tonight. Can we see Death Dealer heads side by side?
Let me grab. Yeah, I can grab one. Give me one second.
Oh, wait. You know what? Hold on. I got you, fam. Hold on. I'm going to figure out how to do
playing
this.
with toys. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's what we get to do here.
I have another.
So look, so you can see the mouthpiece is different. If my camera would work.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to see that. The character is different on there.
The helmet is different. The mouth plate is different. The eyes are completely different. Horns are similar, but completely a different hook on them. And the arms are going to be from the metallic black to green.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, are there any other differences on this guy?
Yes, if you look at the armor and the belt, they have a different wash. It's like almost like a copper wash on them.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Here you go. Here you go, right here. How cool is that now? Now he's all colored, and then you can put on that.
I feel bad. Frankie has no toys to play with like us.
Frankie does have toys to play with.
Get mine.
Yeah,
They're all
you have toys to play with.
Come on, we're gonna battle. We're gonna see who the battle of the death dealers.
I don't know. Loco and Dorman though should get involved. They should have fun. But check that out, man. How cool is that? That's pretty wild, isn't it? So you can actually put together some really cool stuff here.
Oh, so that's the question: to open or not to open? See, that's why like guys like us, we have to always buy two.
Yeah, I find it really difficult not to.
Oh shit! What's
Other
he
than
got?
mine are on, we have ours in boxes.
There we go.
Ah.
He has them. Yeah, there we go. Right there. So you have them.
We were able to pack like 5 or so of each up.
Perfect. That's awesome.
And if anybody's going there, like tomorrow or the next day or next week, you can get them in store. But right now is your best chance to grab them because if someone grabs them before you, like if Kirk Hammett is in there, you know he's getting all of them.
They'll grab them all.
Yeah.
They're done.
And guys, we got to remember that this series made history because there was never a 5.5 Frazetta series before this. Actually, there was never a series that went beyond Death Dealer that was articulated. Like there just hasn't been up until just recently. So they made statues. They made other particular characters, but a 3-dimensional character that actually in the 5.5 world in particular. This is the first time this has ever been done.
I like the cat across him. That's badass.
Thank you, man. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, so that's really awesome. Let's see here. Thank you so much for making it.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that.
It's the museum. I want to say thank you to the museum for allowing us to be able to play in this playground. I mean, it allowed you guys to jump into this, and we're hoping to do many more. And that's kind of the idea, is like to continue doing this. I think Frankie had just dropped some info a little earlier that he wanted to do a few more conventions, and one of them is PowerCon. So it's going to be pretty cool. And obviously it comes to ZoloCon, and we have a few plans for that. But yeah, some really awesome stuff. Get some of the museum canvases, get some of the stuff to go with the figures, because it'd be awesome with that too.
Who am I? I'm Batman.
Yeah.
There you go. That's who I am.
Pretty good person to beat.
Yeah, I'm
I'll take
Batman.
Yeah.
Zolver keeping the 5.5 game live and giving some serious heat. Boom.
Thank you.
This is a great comment. I'm happy. What's up?
Somebody said they have the Werewolf Meets Dracula statue. I actually have that in my bedroom. It's one of my favorite statues we ever did.
I actually haven't seen the statue. Like I know the piece, but
Let me go. Hold on, let me go grab it. We have it in the museum.
All right, we're gonna
Who said that?
smack him in the mouth.
Who said that? That's funny. Well, guys, I want to say thank you for all your purchases so far, even the ones that it's one of the best stats. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for everybody that's been purchasing so far and has been part of this. I do have other guys on the outside that has been wanting some pieces also. Krista, did you get
Dorman? It's always Dorman.
Dorman.
It's always Dorman. Ballbuster. What's up, Nick?
Lassie Milkinson.
That looks sick, dude.
Taylor,
Yeah, I love this statue.
Taylor Saxon.
So again, this is my favorite piece growing up. So yeah,
That really does. That is like a perfect representation of the painting come to life.
so I think we only have a cut. Like I think this was the one in my bedroom that I brought in the museum because we were like out of them. So this one is like, this means a lot to me. This is mine.
Okay, so Lassie gets 2 Death Dealers, 1 Hercules, and 1 Flesh Eater. Oh, crap. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to keep up with everybody here. We have. Let's see. Okay, so I also have
What Yeah, guys, there's no Hercules. Sorry. You want that? You got to go to Disney.
Oleg has he wants Death Dealer, he wants Jungle Lord, and he wants Flesh Eaters. Yeah, I'm getting private messages, guys.
This
I'm
is the
sorry.
only art stat just evidence of it. Wolfman kicking Dracula's butt. Actually, yeah, that's a good question. Who would win in a fight, Dracula or Wolfman? That's a
To my
good.
grandpa, Wolfman. Every piece that he did where there's a Dracula and a Wolfman, the Wolfman is winning. He's done 2 of them with both of them in the piece, and Dracula is scared shitless of both. So, to him, Wolfman would win.
Yeah, no, for sure. I actually agree with that because Wolfman's like a savage. So
Mike
No,
Dye.
see, I think
So it's Mike Dye. He's doing it.
I'm Team Edward all the way. You can be Team Jacob, but I think Dracula would win.
I don't know. I'm a Phantom guy, believe it or not. I don't know why Phantom of the Opera, just because it predates the other ones. But if we're really going horror, Nosferatu. That's my guy. Will always be my guy.
I don't
What?
like that depiction of vampires.
No,
No, I'm more. You ever see 30 Days of Night?
of course.
Okay, that's like my favorite movie, and that's my favorite depiction of vampires.
All right. So last night we were on the show for a little bit here, just kind of playing around. I got to get Frankie's. I just got to pick your brain for 1 second. What is your favorite horror movie of all time, sir?
30 Days of Night.
There you
Literally.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go.
it's a good one. You like vampire movies then? That's good.
Vampires. So I remember ever since I was a little kid, for Halloween I dressed up as Dracula. That was like every year I would go as Dracula. I loved vampires. I loved everything about them, and still to this day, vampires are like. I play Warhammer, and the guys I use right now are vampires. So I always use vampires.
What about Lost Boys? Oh, that's a good question because that's kind of very much of our era.
I'd say Lost Boys was good. Van Helsing was great. That's one of my favorite movies.
Underrated.
Yeah, it really was. I was gonna say, and like everybody always asks, like, did my grandfather like movies, or like was he a movie buff? Somebody asked me that the other day actually, and every time he would watch a movie, especially so, I remember him watching King Kong or Godzilla. He hated them because he was like, "There's no way they can move this quickly. Being that large, they cannot physically move that quickly." And he would, I'm like, "Grandpa, it's a movie." He's like, "I don't care. It's just not accurate." So, but I told somebody the other day, there's a film back in, I think it was like, it was in like the 20s or 30s or one of them, like pretty far back, called Night of the Hunter, and that was the movie he watched the most.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not heard of that one.
It's really, actually, I watched it with my girlfriend over Christmas break, and it's so interesting to watch because it's like so like old, but it aged well. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Check it out. It's obviously older, so it's like an older movie, but it was interesting. But he always would watch that. That's like, I know that to be his favorite movie.
That's awesome.
Well, there you go. That's a scoop right here for the show. Let's see here. I saw that at a. So someone saying that came out in 1955. That's good.
Was
year.
it? Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't think it was the 20s. I felt kind of old, but I know it is older.
20s, everything was like still silent. I think they were kind
Probably. I was gonna say because it would feel weird that you watch something that he was born, but it was like, I don't know. It seems older than 50s, but it probably is. I think it is 50s. But yeah, it's a great movie. Again, like every time you'd walk in his studio, he'd be doing like the same 4 things, and it was like he'd be watching the Mets. Like if the Mets were on, he was watching no matter what. Like
because he's a New Yorker. That's what you do.
He'd be doing that. He'd be whiting something out. Like one of his boys that Ellie would allow him to mess with, he would be whiting that out. Have a good night. But yeah, so that was, and he'd listen to Sinatra or like classical music. That's what he listened to. He loved Sinatra, like loved Sinatra. So that was it.
Good old Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Yeah, we have a Dorman. I'll have to hit you back up after the show. We'll see. Now, granted, I know you guys there's a lot of loose collectors out there as well. So yeah, there's some really neat stuff. There's a lot of neat stuff in the works too. But I think someone had asked something up here about Other what did I see here real quick? I don't know. It was up here somewhere. It just got lost in translation. But I think someone was asking for future stuff, and
Yes.
yeah, we're hoping to have an answer very shortly for that for the Frazetta stuff. So let me hit
So there's more 5.5 Frazetta in the future, possibly.
Yes, yeah, that's something we were going to be in talks with here in a little bit. We have some really neat ideas, and just got to make sure we're able to do them. So it's all good. Yeah. But let's see here.
There's a plethora of Frank's characters that need plastic versions.
I was gonna say there are literally like hundreds of characters we
that
can
was
do.
it right there. Like people wanted to see a second wave. So yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff. I mean, like, you know, I have had so many people hit me up and ask me about specific things if we're doing them, and it's hard to answer. It's hard to answer all these questions. I mean, when you're producing things in low numbers and stuff, and you have to have them out there, you want to make sure that you know, you get something that's really special. It's tough to keep that up, especially with factories and stuff. You know, but yeah, we're hoping to have an answer soon. So. It's about the big answer I could give. I'm sorry.
I'd buy a lot of Frazetta Wolfmen.
Yeah, that you know would be cool. I mean, listen, I know just as much as you guys do. I'm kept in the dark on these specifically because as a fan of the product as well, I like to be. You know, it'd be cool a Dracula Wolfman 2-pack. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be interesting.
The Dracula Wolfman 2-pack would be amazing.
That would be badass.
We were talking about the armor earlier, and that's just awesome removable armor for the figure. So you can you know, you could see like it's
let me blow you up here.
Wild. So this is the standard version. So the museum's version has like a wash, like a copper wash that goes over this, like it's almost like oxidized. It's really awesome. I don't have it loose here, but you could see that.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, I'll bring in the image. There you are. So Mike, just
there you go.
Bring that to the left-hand side of the screen.
I gotta see if I have because I had sample. I think I had a sample figure from the factory. The problem though with that is now it's in something else that I can't exactly get to. And I can't exactly get to it for specific reasons. So but yeah, you could see that. I mean, Alvis nailed the work that he put into this is just unbelievable. I mean, all the way down to the back, to the front. But you're gonna get a variation version to this. So if you have the standard Death Dealer, this is obviously a different. The figure that you're getting is going to be a different Death Dealer. So you're going to want them both. Like I said, it's really amazing stuff. Let's see.
So the museum's located in the Poconos. If you go to our site, FrazettaMuseum.com, we have a whole like visit us page that we painstakingly wrote up. So go enjoy it and read it. But yeah, we're open Thursdays to Sundays, 10 to 4 every weekend. So if you're in the area, stop by.
Guys, you could visit the link at the bottom of the screen, FrazettaMuseum.com. It's not a link, it's text, but you guys know how to read. Come on.
Yeah, jump
We're
over
in
there.
the future. FrazettaMuseum.com. You can check out the website. You can interact with them, and then you could drive poor Frankie here crazy whenever you want.
I was gonna say, if you are on the site and you have any questions, just message us. I'm the person that answers you every time. So as long as I'm awake, I will answer as quickly as possible.
Mike, it's 100 for Death Dealer. If you're wanting the museum's Death Dealer, it is 100. There's only 100 of those figures made, so that's where you're at there.
And even if Frankie's sleeping, he wants you to specifically wake him up with
I want to wake up to mass text from people asking
things and ask him stuff he doesn't even know about that only his grandfather would know about. You know, pick his brain for that. He loves that.
That's what you want to do.
I love not having answers to questions about my family. Makes you feel good.
And for that, they have to bring you a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Wawa. You got to make sure to stop by Wawa first.
We got to put a thing up like when we run the ad for people to watch this show, we have to actually get your favorite sandwich and tell people to bring you something. So
Turkey and cheese with mayo. Simple.
there you
Like
go,
for a death dealer.
guys. Turkey, cheese, and mayo.
Frank.
When you visit the Frazetta Museum, bring Frankie a turkey, cheese, and mayo.
See, is anybody else? I just want to make sure that I have everybody here. So when we actually do this, now I do have private messages from folks. So I'm gonna hit you. If you're watching the show after the fact, I will have you in there. So just making sure that you got it, Mike. No problem at all. But yeah, I want to say thank you for just supporting the museum, supporting just what we're trying to do for them as well, and with the figures, and trying to move forward with getting more stuff out there. Because, like I said, the goal is to actually continue making, stuff based off of the paintings and stuff, that they have that we can use and keep moving forward with that. So that would be awesome. Yeah. I'm trying to read these comments while I'm talking. It's probably bad me doing that, but I want to say
okay.
thank you.
We're getting bogged right here. But if people have not ordered the figures right now live on the show and they see this an hour, 2 hours later, you can either go to the Frazetta Museum and pick them up, or you can message Mike personally and pick up whatever remainder stock he has, which is not a lot because only 100 figures was made of each.
So this is museums. This is the museum's figures. So the ones here are going to be, so whatever you order or whatever you're getting from us, it's directly going to the museum. It's going towards the cause of continuing the museum and having to be able to see those beautiful paintings in person and be able to do all that. So this is awesome. Mike's gonna blow up. Yeah, Alberto, I was about to pop. So yeah, if there's anybody else there that has anything else that they wanted to order from here, you can always hit me up as well on that. But yeah, I want to say thank you, Frankie, for being on the show. This is awesome. This is really awesome to be able to see the paintings in the background and be able to do this. Yeah, so this is really awesome. But does anybody else have anything for Frankie before we move forward with for the other claims in the show?
I see one more. Do you have any shared art in the Robert E. Howard Museum? No, we don't. All of the art. So the art was split between 4 kids after a fun conversation thing. So there is a smaller gallery in Florida that has some of the originals on display, and then there's us. As far as shared art in any other museums, unless that person has the original themselves, that's it. Like we don't essentially share, like we don't give our pieces to other museums to display. And that's simply because it's so expensive and so risky to ship these pieces out. My grandfather, again, with Cat Girl, like you can see a little bit of like cracking on her because of how many layers of paint he put on. She wouldn't survive like 2 feet out the door.
Wow.
She would, but like it's one of those things where it's not worth risking this original to put it somewhere. So like these, where they're at is where they're staying. We'll take them off the wall, we'll rotate them or whatever, but it's just not worth the risk to us to move them around a ton. There are some that are fine, like Civil Warrior would move around fine, Net the Other 3 would be fine, but there are a few that are a little bit more fragile than others. So, but yeah, some people have their originals, but yeah. They have not all been digitally scanned. No, I'm actually working on getting our originals scanned because that's another process. Because in order to get them scanned, a lot of times you need to bring them to a place with great natural lighting. There's no natural lighting in here. This was literally when 9/11 happened. This was our bomb shelter, our family bomb shelter. There's no lighting. It is completely like air controlled, temperature controlled, all that stuff to make sure these pieces survive. So I'm working with one of our guys in town, one of our galleries that does a lot of prints for us, to come in and take as good photos as possible. But again, in order to get them, a lot of times to get them scanned, you need to bring them somewhere, and it's just not, it's so scary and so risky to do that. If any of them got damaged out of the 40, you got to assume that at least one's going to get screwed up a little bit. It's not worth it. It just legitimately isn't. But we do have high res images of most of them at this point. Worst case, like I said, somebody can come in and try to screw with the lighting a little bit to get better lighting on them to take the most accurate photos possible. But I mean, we sell images that are like so close to the original you can't really tell. But yeah, not. And honestly, we don't own half of them. Most got sold in the 60s or 70s. So wherever they're at, I have no idea. We barely have pictures of them. But yeah, no, we don't have all the originals digitally scanned, sadly. Hey, how's it going? We sell prints, posters, lithographs, giclées, FrazettaMuseum.com. If you go there, I am painstakingly trying to take photos of everything, and I'm not a professional photographer, but I'm practicing, just to get our website up. So we literally have prints from the 80s when Ellie and Frank printed them. She bought bulk, and by bulk, I mean literally tons of posters that we have from the 80s that are on linen, they're on linen paper. When we went to the convention, we sold out of like 300 of them immediately. It was insane how quickly they went. They're gorgeous. Ellie would take Frank to the printer to make sure that the colors were as accurate as possible. And if they weren't, he would make the printers redo it. So they're gorgeous. A lot of prints you buy from people today are like nice, but even the old, again, our $15 posters, which I have a deal on right now if you go on our website. But they're like gorgeous. And then if you want something more upscale, get the Sideshow collectibles. We have framed art. We have the lithographs. Those are all larger and just more high quality. But honestly, everything we have is, I make sure that nothing goes out that I wouldn't want to buy myself. So yeah.
No doubt.
Like Death Dealer, yeah. The flocked ones sold like crazy at the convention. We're working on getting more of those, and we're working on non-flocked black lights as well, in case you feel like actually looking at a cool print, not in black light.
That's Walter's. He did the sculpture for the.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I'm just seeing this on my phone now. That's awesome.
Guys, was there any other claims for the figures?
Somebody said post the ants eating berries. I can bring you an ant. I don't have that one in here, but I have other ants.
Krista, he's answering your question.
Krista, look what you've done.
Yeah, he's answering your ants eating berries.
Please post the ants eating boys and
Oh, he's
berries.
coming over.
She's so happy right now. She's so happy about this.
He's bringing it on screen.
Look, there's something for everyone tonight. For us, barbarian and dark arts and ants eating berries. Look at that. And now we're just interviewing.
A very comfy chair. I mean, I gotta admit.
I was looking at that. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that seems very comfy. That chair.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's one of my dad's pieces.
Okay,
So,
that's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, he was 25 when he did them, and again, my grandfather was just like, it's time to actually paint cool stuff now, not the ants. So he kind of called it quits there. But yeah, we have a bunch. So we have 4, I think, ant prints, but then we have 5 other originals in the house that never got prints of. But my dad was very good. He was very talented, and then just kind of it fell away. But honestly, I think if he would have put more effort, if he actually would have continued doing it, he wouldn't have been my grandfather, but he would have been very good. Easily been able to survive on his own as an artist.
Are there any prints up tonight? Not that I know of, but you could go to the Frazetta Museum and order some.
Yeah, go to FrazettaMuseum.com and you'll be able to do that. Yeah, you can get all the prints and the lithos. I'll tell you, I own a lot of those. When I went to Chiller, I bought a stack from you guys, and I got them upstairs in frames. I actually framed them. They are amazing. I don't know. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say they're on literal linen paper. I always try to show people because on the site you can't translate that well. It's hard, and then we got to make sure we don't upload 8K res photos. So it's hard to get the right lighting for them too. But anyway, whenever anybody sees them in person, they're just what are these? And it's they're $10 prints if you buy 3. It's either $15 or 10 if you buy 3 or more. And people literally, we had somebody bought 20 of them at the convention. It was just they're just so gorgeous as far as prints go. But again, our lithos and giclées are insane too. I always try to show the lithos and giclées just because they're so they're just gorgeous pieces. And yeah, the prints are cheap. The giclées and stuff are $99. So they're affordable and they're honestly just so nice. But yeah, so we have a ton of stuff on our website. I'm trying to start getting us out there more because our website really wasn't existing until a couple months back. So we're working on it. But
I
yeah,
love it.
we have
This is
stuff.
great. FrazettaMuseum.com, guys. Like if you're looking for, like I said, getting stuff to go with the toys, or you could actually set up like a shadow box and have that in the back with that. It'd be just awesome. It's awesome all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're looking right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, we do have a board game.
Yeah.
One board game. Other than that, we have play mats and stuff, and I always use those for painting on or using for my mouse pads. But yeah,
Are there actual mouse pads or just you just?
Yes.
Oh, there
Yeah.
is. Okay.
hold on, let me hold on. We got like 5.
They got
See,
banners.
now
Huge banners.
See, now you just made a sale. Now I'm gonna have to get one because I'm the jerk that has a mouse pad of himself. Look at that. So, Mike, remember when I was a comic book?
Yes, I do. I do remember that. We'll talk about that next week.
It's funny. I can't even talk, and now I'm shilling my profits.
No, that's
There
good,
you go.
man.
Do
That's why
it.
you're here.
There you
Come
go.
on, dude.
Night Stalker.
That is amazing. Yeah, I love
We
that.
have Barbarian. Obviously, we can't not do Barbarian.
Here you go, guys.
There. And Mothman.
Surprise! Huge.
No, hold on. I get like mouse pads are cool. Let me get the play mats because they're like almost the same price, and there's so much like I like play mats because you can put your keyboard and mouse on it, or you can like do whatever you want with it. It's
I want a mouse pad now. What have I done? Why did I bring this up? Now I want one. Mike,
So
I can't be on the show with you, man. I spend money. Oh, dude, what?
so
And that's fabric, right?
yeah, it's like, but it's like a really nice slick. Like it's literally a mouse pad material. It's just thinner.
Oh,
Like we
dude, that's
like
amazing.
Magic Cap and stuff.
Amazing.
It was funny. So like growing up playing Magic, I was like, I wish I had a mouse pad with my grandfather's stuff on it. And then I told my parents, I was like, work with Ultra Pro or like Ink Gaming or somebody to make mouse pads and like card sleeves. So we have Ultra Pro sleeves, pads, and then we have Ink Gaming playmats as well. So it's more for me. I made these deals for me. So mouse pad, yeah, Catgirl. The issue with Catgirl and stuff is not a lot of companies want to do nudes. That's an issue with a lot of my grandfather's stuff is nudity and gore is hard for a lot of companies to show, but Catgirl on a playmat would be gorgeous. Again, we actually are talking with one of our companies currently to work on other images. So throw some ideas out there and I can work on it for you. Yeah, playmats minimal landscape. Yeah. Actually, so the funny thing about Mothman is George Lucas owns the original.
no way.
Yeah. So
Doesn't he own a few?
yeah, he owns a couple. I don't know the others. So Egyptian Queen sold a couple years back for like 5.4 million. We're assuming Lucas bought it because it was his influence for Princess Leia. So it would only make sense. And he was planning on opening his own Frazetta gallery type thing back in 2020, but COVID hit, and so that fell through. But yeah, so we think he bought that. There's a famous funnies so my grandfather did this ink. It was famous funnies cover, and he's literally quoted to have said he would sell Death Dealer before he sold that ink. That ink sold immediately after he died. Sadly, of course, that's how a lot of pieces went immediately after he died, or got stolen, or whatever happened. But that piece is also, I'm hoping Lucas bought that. It sold for a ton of money, especially back then, and especially for an ink, it went for millions, which back then, honestly, so Stallone tried to buy Catgirl for $1 million back in like the 90s or 80s or something, which was unheard of for fantasy art back then. My
Right.
grandpa obviously turned him down, but yeah, so I think Lucas owns a bunch. I hope he owns a bunch because I would like for other people to be able to see the pieces that, like, I grew up seeing them, and it sucks for me that I can't like see literally like 80-90% of them anymore. It's like, it's very heartbreaking, but again, like, we're trying our best to buy stuff back. This year we have a little bit of cash sitting around that we're going to spend in the next couple of months buying pieces back. We can't afford oils currently because those are going for, literally there was one that just sold for like 700, and I don't know how it fetched that. It was a very basic drawing. It was like, oh, yeah, there's no, like, we can't afford that. But like prelims, sketches, or like inks, like just basic kind of like pens or pencils, we're starting to afford. So we are actually eyeing a couple up currently that I am bugging my parents about grabbing because I definitely want them for the museum. But yeah, so it's cool because, again, every time somebody buys something from our site, like, it literally goes directly back into preserving the art and buying more so everybody can come view. And again, new addition to the museum that costs $1 trillion right now with the price of lumber and nobody really wanting to do a lot of work. So yeah, so again, like we're trying our best to expand and get more pieces for everybody to be able to view. So every time you come, there's something different.
Well, when we have George Lucas on the show next week, we're going to ask him to donate those pieces back to you guys, just out of the goodness of his heart. He don't need it. He's got that Disney money now. He's good.
Yeah. That piece, I would love to see that in person. I don't know if I was alive, before they sold it, but it's such a So once he started painting, like actually painting pieces with oil, he stopped doing a lot of sci-fi and went more towards fantasy because of the Conan books that did so well. Every commission he got was more for fantasy versus sci-fi, like the Civil Warrior book or Carson of Venus and all that stuff, or any of the Savage Pellucidars. Those were like more fantastical. All of his earlier comics were for like Famous Funnies, like Johnny Comet, all that. So it was more sci-fi. But yeah, once he started painting, his sci-fi dropped to the side because nobody was paying him for that. But it is cool. Like again, Mothman, Mastodon we have, which is like a dude fighting a mammoth in an arena, but there's like a spaceship above it. Like, so he did very rarely paint more sci-fi, but it was like as he got older, it was literally just all like fantastical or creeps, like all his Creeps magazine posters and stuff. But yeah, so the sci-fi are very rare and they're like always really cool to see.
Now, the Frazetta Museum will be at ZoloCon for the second show coming up as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to attend every one I can now. Like I said, so we could never attend conventions before because my parents couldn't afford to hire anybody to work for them. And so they didn't have enough warm bodies to throw around to conventions because conventions are on the weekend and the museum's open on the weekend. So it just couldn't exist. But my parents just hired myself and my sister so we can actually go to conventions now.
Real quick, Walter, all the figures are available here. Obviously, this is going right to the museum, but we have the Death Dealer for 100. We have the Jungle Lord for 75 and the Flesh Eaters for 75 as well. So just letting everybody know they are available tonight on the show. The benefits go directly to the museum. So it ships out from here, obviously. We're going to ship them out. But whoever orders tonight, because we're going to have other claims tonight as well after this. So we're going to couple those with what we have tonight. And then, we're just going to go on from there. So if you have any claims whatsoever, guys, tonight, please let me know if you haven't claimed already. But yes, we have the Death Dealer for 100, the Jungle Lord for 75, and the Flesh Eaters for 75. There's only 100 each of these made. So letting you guys know, there you go.
So if you want them,
you can
speak
see the
now or
picture.
forever hold your peace, and then go on eBay and then buy them from Kirk Hammett or George Lucas for $5 million down the road. Buy them now. Get them while they're cheap.
There are,
now.
yeah. We're gonna have other figures tonight as well. So it's not Frazetta stuff. These are the only Frazetta figures, obviously, that are tonight. But we do have some of the Zoloverse figures, which do interchange with everything. So it'll be pretty neat there. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some of our. I guess PowerCon has just went ahead and announced their exclusive figure that they've actually that they're going to have for the show. It is the Elemental Force Necros. If you haven't seen that,
Do we have a photo of that?
Please. Which one? I don't need another Death Dealer, but I want another one. Oh, okay. So you want another Death Dealer? Walter wants another Death Dealer. Thank you, buddy. Let's see. What was it? Oh no, we haven't claimed. It hasn't been up yet, Mike. We have I have a few other ones I haven't seen. No, we will be showing them next. Swamp Demon. Let's go. Okay.
Swamp Demon's gorgeous. That's a nice piece. I was gonna say. So the cool thing is, right, is after all the artwork was split between the kids, each kid has exclusive rights to their originals, and that's it. There was a top 4 pick. So when it was all split up, we call it top 4. So you had Death Dealer 1, the Barbarian, Egyptian Queen, and then there was no 4th. So the 4th that was kind of like shoved in, my dad was able to pick 2 pieces for the price of 1, essentially. So we got Catgirl and Civil Warrior. So the 4th is Civil Warrior. So we can use Death Dealer 1, we can use Egyptian Queen, Barbarian, or Civil Warrior, and so can the other 3 kids. So the cool thing about our prints is they were printed back in the 80s. Everything that was printed or done before my grandparents passed or before the distribution of the pieces is fair game. We were gifted all of these prints, so we literally can sell any image that we have on those prints without any kind of like issues with the other kids. So Swamp Demon we don't own. I don't know if they still have it, if they sold that. I know they sold At the Earth's Core, which I always kind of confuse, and then Beauty and the Beast is kind of like it. But yeah, so a lot of those pieces we don't have the originals to, but we are able to sell those prints because they were grandfathered in. So, and again, like we have 131 prints. Most of those are gone to publishers or whoever had them, or they were sold to Frank and Ellie to help pay for Frank's medical bills as he got older. So again, they're very old prints. They're very like rare prints. And I had artists come to us at the convention and say, I can't even like with my prints, they're not even close to these. And I have to sell mine for like 3 times the price. But since ours are so old, they're like, we're able to sell them at such a low cost. Like our cost was low, so we can sell them cheaply. And again, they're so nice, but it is cool that we can sell pieces that we don't actually we can't replicate anymore.
And you bring some of those prints out to ZoloCon too, right?
Yeah, so we brought one portfolio. My sister said it holds 60 different images, and we brought 5 of each image, and we sold out of like all of them. So I'm bringing 2 or 3 portfolios from now on. It was just our first real convention other than Chiller, and even I've never really gone to that. I'm a very data scientific person. I'm a registered nurse, so like science and data is like my thing. So I went to the con I brought pretty much like one of everything to see what would sell and what wouldn't, so I know what to bring for the next. Literally tons of books, toys, and then literally I'm gonna have like 3 or 4 portfolios of prints because those went so quick. Everybody was just flipping through them and buying like 3 or 4 each. We actually sold card sleeves and playmats. But yeah, so every convention we go to, I'll have a ton of prints. I'll have probably close to all of them with me. So if you see me, grab them.
So guys, if you haven't picked it up, you can get them. If you aren't at the Frazetta Museum, which why aren't you there? Come on, go and bring him a turkey, mayo, and cheese. But if you're not there and you go to ZoloCon, be sure to stop off at the Frazetta booth and pick something up.
Right across from
everything you need is right there.
Right across from the Zola World booth is going to be Frazetta. We're trying to get you guys there every one, so it's easy to find you.
Yeah, we had great neighbors too. I loved all of our neighbors. Everybody was very friendly.
Oh, Brooke, yeah, around the corner.
Brooke was great. The guys next to us that were doing the people were doing the dice trays. They were very nice. So it was a whole kind of like gathering of like just friendly nerds, which was great.
I was only there for the free Monster Energy drinks.
Okay, they were trying to get those out so much, and I was just like, shit.
Did you get a good buzz on from those?
No, I didn't. I was so busy. So that's the thing is like the first day, especially, my voice was shot because it went from being like a convention trying to sell things and like all that to like, let me give you like a museum tour without being on the tour. Oh, let me show you this image. This is what this image is about. This is what he did the image for. Oh, this image sold for this much, however many years ago. So literally like every image somebody was looking at, I was like, let me tell you the history on it. So I literally spent all day talking to people about prints, and I had I just didn't leave. And I was like, all right.
My best advice, my best 2 tips for ZoloCon. Number 1, get as many free drinks as you can because my God, you need the energy because people in there, they are just rabid. They want to know everything. They just love it. And number 2, and Frankie, next year I'll bring you some. I always carry a backpack full of Ricola because your throat goes, dude. You lose your voice in an hour.
Mm-hmm. No, again, it was funny. My sister was sitting there. She was the one working like the register and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm talking to people for like 4 hours. And like somebody would ask me one question and I'm just like, let me go on a whole, like, we're going to deep dive a rabbit hole here and talk about everything there is to know about Frazetta. So it was like that with every person, even people that didn't know much about him. Like, let me tell you about him. And it was, again, it was like, I get excited talking about him because he was my grandfather. And it's like, I have those experiences that I had as a kid with him. And then like, again, knowing what he means to a lot of people, it's like, holy crap, this guy I grew up with that was like one of my best friends is like this cool. Like everybody loves him. So it's like, it's interesting. And I love seeing like, it never gets old talking about him, even though like I tell, for the most part, it's like the same stories to every person, or like if they have a random question, obviously it's different but for the most part, it is the same story. But seeing everybody's reaction it's honestly like, it makes me feel so good every single time, which is honestly a big reason I started I quit my nursing job back in January. January. I put in my notice, and I was a nurse for 6 years. And now I'm here, and again, I love it. Like I love talking to him. I love kind of sharing stories that I have with my grandfather. So it's fun. Yeah.
That's
Well,
great.
Mike, now next time you have to, when Mike's walking around Zolocon with his microphone, now he's got to give it to you. So there you go.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. So there are free Monster Energy drinks. I think in September they Krista, they confirmed they're coming back.
They're not confirmed, but I can see if they're going to be.
Okay, yeah. So there's a possibility. We're going to say a 90% chance that you're going to see Monster there. So Mike, you're going to want to hit them up. They're going to be right next to the concession stand. So you know that.
Which is right next to my booth, which is great.
Not far from you guys. Yeah, that's right. Not
Nice.
either.
We're gonna get messed
Giving
up.
the booth in the house.
We're gonna get over caffeinated for free.
Yeah.
Go get all the monsters, guys. They want you to take it.
Yeah, they want you to take them. They want to give out free monsters. But I want to say thank you again, Frankie, for coming out. We got a few more claims tonight that we're going to be doing, and we man, honestly, I could be here for hours.
Seriously, yeah.
I think we're going to probably bring you on a Mike and Craig versus the Past. I think it'd be fun to at least do it a little bit later on in the show, and we'll have a chance to rap about this. But yeah, we have a lot more other claims on the side as well than the ones in tonight. And then if you guys catch the show afterwards, go ahead and hit me up. If you're catching this after, and I'll be able to take care of you guys, and then I'll be catching up with you guys at the museum here very shortly also, so that'll be awesome. I want to say thank you again. Very awesome. I want to say thank you to everybody else that's purchased tonight. That's cool. Check out FrazettaMuseum.com. Get yourself some prints. Get yourself some canvas. It's going to be really awesome. They're really high quality. It's really awesome.
No, thank you guys for having me on here. I always
Thanks,
love
Frankie.
hanging out with you guys.
Awesome hanging with you, brother.
And thank you to everybody who's helping support us. Seriously, again, like you don't know how much that means to us. This is like he was our grandfather. We love him. We just want to show his work to everybody. We want to continue his legacy and not have to get rid of any of these. That's the goal, is to never have to sell an original. So yeah, we appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. And guys, just check out the museum's website, and yeah, they got some amazing stuff. And also, come on out to Zolocon in September. You're going to also see some really amazing stuff from their booth too. If you want to get it up close and personal and look at it, you're going to be right there. So awesome all the way around. Let's see what we got. Okay. So, if there's anything else for Frankie, we're going to move on to our next thing here. And I want to say, again, thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, are you booting me out too?
No. I'll keep you in because I'm
getting kicked out. It's
Mike can kick me out too. That's fine.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. And again, thank you to everybody who was watching tonight and had questions for me. It was a blast.
Thank you, Frankie. Honestly, dude, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you on. Anytime you want to come, drop by, and even just to plug some mouse pads, go for it, brother.
He always have a place here. It's really awesome. And maybe next time we'll get some of your mouse pads and stuff like that. We'll actually throw them up here too, and this will be great.
Yeah. Get everything, we'll auction everything off.
Got all these hearts flying right now, so that's awesome. Awesome, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Good night.
Have a good one, man. Okay. That was amazingly cool.
That was awesome, right? Guys, thank you again. That's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and move right on to our next segment of the show. But first, okay. We did a toy contest, man. Like what okay, so we have a winner of the toy contest. So honestly, let's go ahead and move forward with this. Okay, so the winner.
Wait, do we have the photo uploaded?
Do you?
No, because you didn't tell me. It was top secret.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm gonna stand here and do the jazz hands and dance while Mike uploads the photo because we got to do something cool about it.
All right, so let's do this real quick, and then we're gonna move right on the next segment, and we're gonna do some more claims here in a second. As a matter of fact,
what if we do the claims first?
I'll tell you what. Let me go grab one of the figures, and maybe you upload it. Does that sound all right?
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, you do.
No, text me.
Oh, man.
I got an idea. Text me the photo, and I'll do it because it was so top secret. I don't even know.
Really?
Yeah, I literally don't know. Text me the photo. I'll upload it, and then you can do the things, and I'll do the magic.
All right, give me 1 second here.
I'll give you 2 seconds.
I just can't believe this.
Oh my God, we're announcing a contest winner tonight?
Yeah, why not? Oh man, okay, here we go.
I still haven't recovered. That was such a good interview and the good show so far. And the show's it's going to keep getting bigger.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, he was awesome.
Frankie's awesome. He's the man.
Family, they're just awesome people.
Frazetta's are great people.
Yeah, it's awesome people all the way around.
And
okay,
guys, I'm going to do a quick 2-second plug. Don't forget to tune into Mike and Craig vs. the Past next Thursday night for arguably one of the biggest nights in Zolo world history. I'm collaborating with Mike for a completely licensed. Well, it's from Licensed Film. It's a completely new line
give me a second.
from Zolo world. This is going to be huge. It's a completely new body style. It's a completely new license. This is going to be huge. And I got to say, it's going to be something that no one's ever done before. And we're going to rock the shit out of this thing. Oh my God, this is the winner. Holy crap. Wow, you guys are in for a treat. Guys. Okay, you guys are in for a mega treat. Okay, this kicks ass. Holy crap. I know the winner, and you guys don't yet. Okay. No, this is so cool. I'm so happy. This is great. Whew.
We're gonna start off right here. Let's start off.
Oh
right
boy.
Here.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna get this ready because this, yeah.
Okay, guys. So the very first claim is going to be the ZoloCon exclusive. Now, granted, if you bought the tickets on the show, okay, this is going to be mailed to you if you bought stuff here. So it's. Oh wow! Hold on a second. What is?
I haven't recovered from this yet. This is a cool figure.
What is going on? I'm missing a couple of things here. So give me 1 second. I just want to make sure. All right. So we have the. I got the ZoloCon exclusive here. Pull off the card here. Hold on.
Are you just opening that?
Yeah, there's one here. So here is the ZoloCon exclusive Slayer. All right. So he's glow in the dark. He has the glow in the dark helmet, and let's see if I can power this on. And again, these are 65 a piece, guys. It's just like the convention. If you were getting into the convention, there's very minimal left of these glow figures. So if you guys are wanting them, just let me know, and I'll be able to get that on a claim here. So it's the ZoloCon exclusive figure here. So if you're needing one, all right. So he has the. What is that? Oh wow. Okay, so man, I'm kind of missing out what's going on here.
Boy, I'm having a hard time getting this photo uploaded.
We got James Pentecost claiming a ZoloCon exclusive. Okay, so I'm trying to get this this light on so you guys can see like how cool this actually looks with the light, because a lot of the I haven't did glow in the dark in a very long time, and my God, I just can't believe this. This place is a mess. Oh, here we go. All right, so we're gonna do this here so you guys can see it. So.
Well, you do that. I'm going to do this because I look like a complete moron right now because this computer sucks. So I'm going to remove myself and I'm going to let Mike take over for those minutes.
So there you go. So you can see this. You can see him like glowing here. Total glow in the dark. And you can see the helmet too. So, oh wow. Let me just hit him up here.
That looks so cool.
And then you can see how bright he is.
They glow so much brighter in real life.
Oh, yeah, he's bright. Yeah, it's totally bright. Okay, wow, my eyes. But you can see this here now. So he's actually illuminated with his helmet, and you can see that just how bright that is. Yeah, wicked, right?
Like
What is that?
twice as bright in person.
There we go. You have this. All right. Okay, so again, if you want them, you could claim Zolocon exclusive here for that. Yeah. And he has the, like I said, the removable helmet. You can see what that looks like here, and then all the even comes with the sword, the glows. All right, so that's cool. So that's the first claim here. Okay, and then we got okay. So if you guys wanted the Zolocon exclusive, now I do have a couple more claims that I have that is a private message. So yes, so if you guys ordered them from the site, you're going to get them. So you're good to go there. All right. So next is going to be well, there's only 10 of each of these guys, all right? So I'll start off with this one. This is the Warrior Knight. I don't know if you could see him that well. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay, this sucks. I'm gonna have to open this. Wow, this is like horrible lighting. I've never had this issue. You know what? Hold on. Maybe this might change it. There we go. You see him a little bit. So he's more like. All right, so who is claiming this? I cannot see who's claiming this here. All right, hold on. Let me get out of this and then come back in. All right. Nick Dorman. Okay, gotcha. Nick Dorman for Warrior Knight. Okay, and that's what he looks like there. Okay. All right, I got Mob Star 1. All right, I got let's see here. Nick Sanchez. That's Thomas Poloni is claiming Warrior Knight. Chris, do you have these?
Yeah.
Okay, so Warrior Knight. Okay, I have. What is the price? Okay. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry.
James Martinez asked for the price.
Sorry, I didn't even say the price of these, did I? I'm gonna do on this guy here. I'm gonna let this guy go for 65 each on these. These will be 65 on these. Sorry about that. He's a variation of the show one that we had. This is not the same figure. We had a Warrior Knight at the show. He's not this one, but you can have that there. So yeah, any of these are. I think also Lee Leonard. He wanted one as well. If he didn't have a claim to claim it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 65 on the Warrior Knights. Okay. Yeah, so he's Spike's head, actually. It's a cast Spike's head on it. So you know what? Let me just pull this out here. So who's thinking I can't see? I cannot see. That's all the hate. All right. So right there. That's a Warrior Knight. And he also comes with the sword too. Oh man. So that's what he looks like there, okay? So 65 guys for Warrior Knight. And how many do we have claimed so far of these?
Hold on, let me record one more person, and I will.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So if anybody else for Warrior Knight, just let me know, and we'll have that ready to go. All right. He is not the same one as the convention. The ones at the convention were 100 each. So these are not the same ones. This is a different figure than that, different body style. All right. So they're good. So if you want them, 65 on that guy. And then we have Stygian Defender. Now, guys, these are also one of 10, but these are 100 each, guys, for these. All right. Now, these are, again, you could see it's a, you'll see who this is here. I'll show you. Signature edition too. So you'll see that these actually have the signatures on them. And here you go here. All right, here. So, yep, it's 100 on him. All right, guys. It's, the Stygian Defender for 100 there. And again, there's only 10 of these available. Well, actually, no, there's more. There's less than that because we have a couple claims. So I'm going to say I think there's 4 of these left. There's about 4 of these guys left after Dorman here that we have. So Stygian Defender. Okay, so I got Thomas for Stygian Defender. That's wicked, man. It's a wicked figure. And yes, there you go. And he's in the box here. Yes.
I'm back.
He is back.
I'm back.
Where'd you go?
Yep. The winner is actually uploaded now, so we're good on
sweet.
that.
Okay,
We'll
so
do
there
that after the claims. We'll do that after the claims.
Yes. Okay, so the next one is going to be I got Nick Sanchez for Stygian Defender also. Okay, so here is Swamp Boss. And I'll pop him out of here too. Craig, I'm gonna oh, hold on, I got Chad Sealy also. Craig, I'm gonna make this like full screen here real quick. Yeah, thank you. And I'll pop you right back in. Once I show this guy, I'll pop you right back in here. So here is Stygian Defender. As you can see, translucent body, translucent smoke. He comes with the armor, and he has the painted head by Marissa here. So, and he is these guys here are 70 on these on this on the Swamp Bosses. He's also different. Okay, so Eric is claiming. I have to take a look at that too. Eric, I got you. All right, I'm bringing you back in. All right, buddy. That was a good. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I could show that. So that's definitely awesome. So we have tonight those which you guys saw. And Eric, I got you. I saw your text here. So very cool. Very cool.
Request, guys, claim on Facebook or YouTube so that I can see your claims come in.
Marissa. I can't see anybody that's posting for some reason. I don't know if this is like.
Okay.
All right. So let's see here. We got
What else you got? What else you got?
Chat Silly claimed the boss and defender. You see that? Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, so did anybody else on there? Okay, so again, Stygian Defender. Craig, you see this yet?
Which one?
The Stygian Defender?
I did. I actually do watch the show. Go figure. Yeah, I love everything about that. I think its armor is just cool. I'm a sucker for the soft goods. That's just really cool, man.
It's like blood on his helmet. You put like a really cool little like a blood wash on it, so it's really cool.
Dude, anytime there's like actual like chains and like fabric stuff, that's badass.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, Moorhead. I'm glad to see you at the show, man. That was a lot of fun, dude. That was a lot of fun seeing you over there. It was great seeing everybody, actually.
You know what's
It's great. And Mike Dye. Oh my goodness gracious. Mike Dye's on the show. Guys, here, check this out. If you see this, hold on a second.
What do you got?
I got these here. So I have a few of these in different sizes here.
A t-shirt.
These t-shirts for ZoloCon. So I got extra large and large, but you could see these. These are 20 each.
Oh, I'm gonna pop out to blow that up for you.
Yes. What the hell? 23. Oh yeah. So here it is. Here, this is the Slayer. So these are 20 each on these. These are made by Mike Dye, as you can see. ZoloCon 2023. I have a few of these. I wasn't by the booth that long. Well, I was in and out of the booth, so it was really crazy to try to catch up. But if you guys they're on black, okay. So we have some larges. I think he made medium in here. Extra large and larges. So if you guys, I got that. Yeah, right. So I should have been wearing this tonight. I don't know why. But here you go here. So there we go. It's even a better imagery there. You can see. But that's Slayer he did for the convention there. Who is Mike Die? Who just said that? I'm just seeing you as Kevin. So if anybody wants a shirt, they're 20 for the shirts. I got them in let's see here. We got some large, we got some extra large. I think I might also have mediums. But again, I have some claims of these also from people on outside of the show because I know I'd shown them off a little bit earlier. So okay. So if anybody wants that, it's definitely cool. I'm going to bring you back in. Here we go.
Cool.
There we go.
Are you ready to announce the contest winner, sir?
Yeah, let's do that. I think it's gonna be awesome.
All right, so we got a shit ton of people in here watching right now. So as you guys know, there was a Zola World contest, and Mike, tell them a little bit about the prize first, please.
Sure. Okay, so as far as the prize is concerned, what we're doing is we're giving a gift certificate for $150 on the website. So anything that you get, you're going to get a $150 gift certificate to the website, meaning that once you shop around or whatever, you could be like, oh, cool. I got, you can get whatever stuff that you want on the website. Also, what's this?
How was the winner chosen? We just randomly picked somebody. We just out of a hat.
The winner was chosen by a poll on the site, and we had that poll running for a while. I wanted to run it for a while, a little bit more. And people are making like, oh man, it's the longest figure contest that I can ever remember. And I don't remember ever having an action figure contest, so I don't know how long that could be, So that was really cool. Who was the armored black figure in some red? Oh, that's Stygian Defender, Tyke. Well, you didn't catch that? Oh, I put him over here. But yeah, so $150 gift certificate to the Realm of the Underworld page or Zola World or whatever you want. If you want cases, you can always hit me up with that too. But what we'll do is we'll make it Realm of the Underworld. And if you need something else, then that'll be good. Let's see. Here. Let's show this again. So that's Stygian Defender. Is that who you mean? Yeah, and these are 100 each. There you go. And that's him. Well, actually, his chain's now falling out. Thanks, Tyke. Thanks, buddy. And it is a signature edition, so it has both of our autographs on there too. You can see. So yeah, these are 1 of 10. The color schemes are different than the one at ZoloCon now. Again, the one at ZoloCon was different than this. I
still say we do a figure contest that's just chosen out of a hat. A cowboy hat. No, out of Mike Grell's hat. Because let me just say, Mike Grell has the coolest freaking hat ever, and you need a hat like his.
I got it. I got the he let me take pictures of the inside of it. You were there.
I know, and you got to wear it.
Okay.
But you know what? I was just drinking Monster Energy drinks.
I think we all were. I feel bad that some people weren't able to get a monster. They didn't even know that was going on. That was
next year. We're gonna be throwing it at people's heads like cans, 100 miles per hour out of a monster gun.
I love this, dude. I fucking love this. This is amazing. I can't believe. Okay, so I'm sold on this. I almost want to hit them up and be like, yeah, we need to do this figure. This is too. These colors are too awesome.
Yeah, Grell was awesome. He was super cool.
Yeah, no, Grell was really killer. So we have. Okay, so is the contest? Is anybody that entered the contest? Are you in tonight? Are you guys in tonight here? Okay, I can't. You know what? This is not updating.
TikTok.
I was there for only 20.
You gotta stay in
yeah,
Zolocon
that's
for
right.
1
You were only there for 20 minutes. That's right. You stopped in to hand. No, you didn't even hand me shirts. Moorhead handed me shirts. Now I'm lost.
We are always lost.
I'm lost now. That show, dude, was like my. That's right, Rider Origin. I was on fire, man. Like I was running around. Like it was absolutely. Never got to finish mine.
I was running around the whole show, so a lot of people missed me. I ran into a lot of guys though. Had a cool time. So if I didn't see you there, Tyke, I'm sorry, buddy. I'll run into you next time.
We'll do another one. Yeah, you had to run into Tyke. Tyke was around with Walter and
Did I? I don't remember much. I was so buzzed on
you didn't
energy.
tell me Brent was coming. Tyke, is Tyke still on? You didn't tell me Brent was coming. I saw him for a second. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like I was confused. That was Brett, right? Or did I miss something? I know it wasn't Matt Booze, but that was Brett, right? What the fuck? So I saw him for one instance. He's like, hey, buddy, what's going on? And I looked at him. It was like something out of a freaking comedy movie. And I was like, wait a minute, you're here? And he's like, yeah, I was shocked. I saw him one time. I said three things to him. Now, Craig, he comes from he's from Arizona. He flew in Arizona to the show. He's like, hey man, he's with Tyke. I was like, what? Did you guys like?
That's a hell of a hike.
Were you guys hanging out? You were lucky.
Dorman, you're such a ball buster.
Nick, you know Brett Scarano, right?
Oh God,
He was only 45.
Yeah.
He was only there for 45 minutes. Oh wait a minute, he had family there. That's why he was down. That's right, because he did tell me that at one point.
you got to stay longer than just 45 minutes. That's too little of a time.
Let's see.
So do we announce the contest winner? Because I'm sure like a few people that are in here are literally like shitting their ass. Like their ass is actually inverting, and they're like dying to know if they won the $100. Was it $100?
Okay. Frankie Frazetta just texted me. He said he had an absolute blast, and he wants me to thank everybody on the show here for being so awesome, and thank you guys, Craig and you, for having me. It was awesome. Yeah, that was really, really cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, Craig. What were you saying?
Well, Frankie was amazing, and if he's watching right now, thank you again, buddy, for coming on and joining us. It was an absolute honor and privilege to have you on. Anytime you want to jump on,
No, he's not in the group. He just texted me.
Well, I'm saying like if he's watching on YouTube.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We're also streaming on YouTube. Where apparently, did you guys see the promo video? Should we play that again?
Yes, let's play that.
You want to play that? Okay, we're gonna play that again. So if you guys didn't see,
we're gonna announce the winner right afterwards. Let's do that.
We're gonna do that. Okay, and here we go with our Mike and Craig vs. the Past promo video.
YouTube's hottest show, Mike and Craig vs. the Past theme song, performed by the one and only Ninja Turtles, is finally here.
Mike and Craig are so handsome.
For just $21.98, YouTube can enjoy the sweet sounds of latex turtles playing fake instruments.
I'm gonna.
You can get this theme song and terrible toy memories only on Napster.
I have nightmares that you wouldn't believe.
I'm gonna kill myself on stage.
Be sure to check out Mike and Craig vs. the Past, only on YouTube.
And holy shit, you guys aren't going to want to miss next week's show for the new announcement. But speaking of announcements, the Zolocon contest. Let's get to it. I got a little drum roll queued up.
Hell yeah!
All right, should we do the drum roll and then I'll kick the picture? Okay, hold on. We're loading it. Come on, StreamYard. Come on, buddy. Come on, you can do it. All right, and Mike, I'm going to let you kind of announce it. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Technology is not my friend, and a lot of you guys know this if you watch the Christmas show. All right, ready. And The contest winner is boop.
This is Armor of the Gods Hercules. This is the winner. This is chosen by the fans. Armor of the Gods Hercules. Now, this is, and if the person that's actually in the crowd right now can step forward and announce that, because I know you're here. I know you're here.
He left. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Smoke bomb.
Yeah, he probably is. He's like, I'm out. Done. I'm out of here. Yeah, had it with these clowns.
Tyke, you're too kind. You're too kind, buddy. You're too kind.
Yeah.
Congratulations on winning.
Congratulations to the winner.
Where you be, winner?
Where you be?
Come on, winner. Step forward.
Claim your throne. Claim your prize.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is, Pimp Daddy himself. That is right. Congratulations, man. I'll hit you up. It's if you did claim anything tonight, that will go towards that as well if you wanted to. So it's a $150 gift certificate to whatever you want from Zola World.
Wawa.
So you're good to go. Yeah.
Wawa or Sheets.
Gifts. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is right. Okay, you're on YouTube.
I love the not only the coloring, but the plume is such a new. Mike, none of the figures already have a plume, right? Or no,
nothing that I have. No. Mm-mm.
That is really unique, man. That is really, really unique. I mean, listen, every single entry was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and
that was really awesome ones.
that was a really good contest. And like, no joke, every single person that entered knocked it out of the park.
I liked, for me, I liked that one. And I mean, shit.
There was no losers. There was none. Nobody lost. Everyone was good.
To, like, if I had to choose this, I would have a really hard time because there's some really neat ones. Like, I'm a huge fan of Grim the Executioner. So when I saw the Ergloff, the Relentless, I was taken back by that. I actually thought that figure was going to win. I did. I looked at it. I was like, ooh. And then Chad hits me up with something that was like mind blowing too. Nick Sanchez had a real cool one with the multicolor. It's really tough, but yeah, just so many good ones. There's so many good ones. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good question. Will this become an official figure?
Well, that's the question. I'll have to take a look at it, what it entails, and then I'll be able to figure that out. Yeah, Jameson, you were the other guy too. That we were just talking about with the Grim, but that's something definitely that I wanted to check out and see because I think that'd be really awesome.
Tyke's killing it. Yeah, there honestly everyone who entered just did a great job. There was no like losers per se. Everything was cool.
No, it was absolutely fantastic. I think that that was really cool. This is something that I'd like to do a little bit more of. It's just a little difficult just because of juggling. Like I was in between juggling a show, and then we were doing some sideline production. I cannot see.
I agree with this.
My things are not updating. So okay, Jameson. Okay.
I agree with this 100%. A Gate Guardian line would be awesome. And how did the Gate Guardians come about, actually, Mike?
Yeah, that was Gate Night, right? I mean, like I think that was
that was like when the line first started. We were on the phone with that, and we're like, yeah, there's like 7 gates to the underworld, and each gate should technically have a guard, and that's how Gate Night came out, and that's he was the first one, so that'd be cool. Oh, here's one. Zola World Wrestling Federation.
You've seen the pictures already, haven't you?
What?
The concept art for that.
The wrestling. But there's something else wrestling too. But we'll get down the road.
They had we teased Facone and I have been working online for years and years and years, and we were going to do something. And
What's I don't like
turn on extreme battery training.
Oh, feedback. Hello.
Let's do that.
What is going on with my monitors here? Oops.
Okay, but yeah. So again, we had those claims tonight. That's where we're at. If you guys hadn't gotten them either, I'm gonna go. Actually, How many people's online? 25. I'm gonna tease something for you.
Oh, a tease.
And I'm gonna show you a little bit of future to what's actually coming. We have about 25 people, or more. No, there's more than that. So yeah, I'll show you something real quick. I said I wasn't going to do it.
Mike has disappeared.
I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Craig, I don't even think you saw this yet.
You don't tell me anything. I'm kept in the dark. I'm just brand managing the other figures.
Oh, can you just make the
Oh, of course. But
I got your mic. I got your mic turned on over there, so you're good. But here you go. Pretty cool. No, you can see it now. So this is going. Craig, did you see this, or had you seen it yet, or no?
I have. I've seen the box.
Okay, so this is going to be Tales from the Zoloverse. There's going to be another line that's coming up. What's wrong?
No, I'm sorry, Nick. He wrote claim. Sorry, that took me. That was great.
No. This is, I'm just showing you the box, what it looks like here. But so PowerCon, the PowerCon exclusive is going to be in these boxes that you're going to see. It's going to be debuted. The figure that's coming for PowerCon is going to debut in this particular box. So I'm kind of teasing it here, so you guys are going to see it. But yeah, so this is going to be the PowerCon exclusive. Not this figure, obviously. It's going to be the Necros Elemental Force figure, but he's going to be in this box with the PowerCon labels onto it. Now, you're going to have to get it from the convention. Yeah, you're going to want to get it. You're going to have to get it from the convention. PowerCon is going to be selling these directly. It's going to be very exclusive. So just to give you an idea, they're doing this, and we're going to have another exclusive at the show, a side piece that's going to work with this. But this is they're going to have the debut of the Tales from the Zoloverse, which is going to be the line here. So this is going to give the opportunity to be able to do a lot of independent stuff in here as well. You can see the back. Facone nailed this. Is all Facone.
Yeah, that is really great. Facone always brings his A game to that.
Yeah, he brings some really cool stuff. So you can see like on the top, and then you have the big skull in there. So yeah, so you have Tales from the Zoloverse.
That is the official logo for Tales from the Zoloverse, correct?
Yeah, well, the official logo is on the top, but yeah,
right.
It's going to have. It actually looks like that. But, yeah. So yeah, so you have it, and you can see the back. I love the back what he did there because there's like all the characters and stuff. So it's wicked.
That's really good, man.
Yeah, it turned out really wild. He did a really good job with that.
Well, here's
and on the bottom of the box too has some.
When are you showing the PowerCon exclusive? That's a good question.
You guys haven't seen the PowerCon exclusive yet? Get those guys.
Here's another good question. Does Tales from the Zoloverse have a different storyline?
Tales from the Zoloverse encompasses all the storylines. So you're going to have Legends of Darkness in there. You're going to have Realm of the Underworld. You're going to have Pirates of the Galaxies. You're going to have sideline stuff. I've even been talking to a few creators that's going to actually be into the Zoloverse. So it's going to be Tales of the Zoloverse is like basically you can have a story that is relating to, let's just say it has like a Hercules side story that combines, a Legends of Darkness story that combines with, like something really, really cool. All that'll combine together into one huge thing. So Tales from the Zoloverse is not taking over for Realm of the Underworld. It's not taking over for like any of the other lines. It's its own thing. And it actually is, it's just basically the tales and the stories that basically go with them.
I heard a rumor through the rumor mill that you're bringing back Pain Deer exclusively for Mr. Nick Dorman, just for Dorman. He's the only one that's getting that.
Fucking wicked stuff, man. You're
He's
right.
the only one that Nick. We're gonna get you that exclusive.
To discuss that yet? It's supposed to be some back end stuff.
We're gonna get you that exclusive, buddy. It's coming your way.
I have a. Oh, you wanted to see the exclusive? Hold on a second.
Yeah, bring out the PowerCon exclusive. Nah, sorry, Dorman. That's it. You're getting it. Yeah, Jeremy actually has the one and only.
So here is the Necros figure, Elemental Force.
Oh, there he is. I'm bopping out so you can see this beauty. Look at this.
So he's going to be into that box, all right? When you see him, I should have. I didn't throw him in there, but you'll see the final product through PowerCon. But this is the Elemental Force figure. He has the chain, as you can see. The there's the hilt and the Aemon Stone, or a fragment of the Aemon Stone, as well as the translucent axe, the clear translucent axe this time. And you can see that there is. Pretty wicked stuff, and he has like the cape and everything with that too. Now on here, in his on his hilt, or on this thing here, you can see like these pieces come apart. So if you have the other version of him, he actually has that as well. So you have the crystal ball. You got that. You see that right there. Very wicked. Yeah, the idea was that these fragments, you would be like, not everyone was supposed to have a hilt, but then you have one hilt that you're able to combine all the crystals with. There you have it there. Cape's a funny story on this guy. I love the way this turned out too. What we were going for was a little bit different, but it turned out really, really wicked after it was all said and done. So yeah, this is going on sale. I think the 25th. It's going to be the 25th of March is going on sale. So if this is something you guys are wanting, you're going to want to check that out for sure.
And will that be available only at PowerCon?
Only at PowerCon, yeah. This is not going to be available through me.
Okay. Very good. So everyone watching, PowerCon exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Box PowerCon exclusive.
No, you cannot get it from him.
Facebook user, we cannot see who you are, but yes, no, you cannot get it through Mike.
Yeah, I can't. He's buying the entire stock, so
Yeah.
I don't have. I'm not going to have any of those. Let's see. I might be able to buy some from the show, but other than that,
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to
buy my own toys back.
Yeah, you're gonna pull a Frazetta museum. You're gonna buy your own stock back.
I'm gonna be forced to like run the Frazetta museum and get a bunch of those figures too. I need a few for myself, so that'll be cool. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and and joining us here. I think it's really cool. Where is PowerCon is in Ohio, but he's gonna have I'm pretty sure he's gonna have online sales too. But it's in Ohio, and it should be. Excuse me. Yeah, he's going to be in Ohio, and it's going to be, I think, in August. Is it the beginning of August? Well, you just look it up. It's a PowerCon. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It should be man, I'm missing everything here. I can't even my updating sucks. Dorman. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it was great.
I was
Thank
dormant.
you again.
Thank you, buddy.
But
this was a really good show. They're usually good, but like when we have guests.
Oh yeah, no, that's always fun. I wanted to bring Frankie on for a while. I wanted to do for years. I wanted to do Frazetta. Actually, when I first started these figures, like once I started these, I said, you know what they never made? They never made a Death Dealer in 5.5 like in this style. So when I first brought out the figures originally, that was the intention way back when it wasn't even Realm of the Underworld. And I wanted to yeah, very awesome, man. Thank you. So yeah, I wanted to do that for a long time. And once I was able to do it, now I just want to make so many other characters. There's so many other like really awesome stuff.
Hey Mike, you know what else you need to make?
I know. You're gonna show that, aren't you?
Mantech Action Figures, the interchangeable system of robot warriors.
I had to. It was a request, special request.
All right. But yeah, so if you guys didn't get one of these, you're definitely this is really, really badass because you can do so much with this body. I love the glow bodies. They're so badass.
And your figures actually like really have that like deep glow, unlike a lot of other figures. Like it's got that like it pops.
Yeah, well, I'm looking to do like a lot of glow in the dark for the next run that we're doing. And like I said, I'm not leaving the 5.5 world by any means. I'm going to continue doing 5.5, but we're going to actually start working with some 3 3/4 stuff, which is going to be awesome too. So, yes,
and starting next week on Thursday, 7 p.m. on Mike and Craig vs. the Past, we announce our first 3 3/4 inch official movie licensed line.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like if anybody is wanting the Zolocon exclusive, like I said before, they are for sale. So you know it'll be the ticket price of the show. There's not many of those left. But yeah, they're badass. Like we went through cartons of those.
Yeah, everyone that was coming in was actually like grabbing one of those, and those were flying. So, how much are those running, by the way, just for anyone wondering?
They're 65. It's what the ticket price was of the show.
Yeah,
it's 65, and it does come with a print. Now, oh my god, what am I, idiot? Okay, so the prints that I have.
You're getting a print too? He's just giving stuff away. Next, he's going to throw in some free monster drinks for you guys. I mean, what doesn't this guy do? This guy does it everything. Jack of all trades.
Right, this print here is signed by Mike Grell.
Right there.
Yeah, so you're not getting a signed print unless if you ordered the signed print. But this is what they look like. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me just do this real quick. So you got the Mike Grell print right here. It's Slayer fighting Necros. And like I said, this one's signed. So if you got a signed print, like if you asked to get it signed, I do have these for the people that had to check off to get them signed. So that's the print that you're getting with the figures. So if you ordered a Zolo World Zolocon exclusive figure, you're going to get this print also. You're not going to get the print unless, if, like I said before, unless if you ordered the signature. But yep, that's it there. And if you wanted the prints just by themselves, they're $15 a piece. And if you wanted it signed by Grell, they're $35. They're $35. So
that's a good value right there.
Yeah.
People at home don't even have to drive to the convention. Look at that. Mike is hooking you up. I feel like one of those QVC hosts. I need like the little banner on top.
And by the way, that's going to be a future mini comic cover. Just to let you guys know, that's one of our mini comic covers. Is a fucking print, man.
Oh, we were not. Do you want to tell the story or fuck it? No, don't even. Don't, no,
I'll
don't
tell
even.
it. Fuck it. I can tell it. Everybody, when you think you have a bad day, right? And people say, "Oh, I've been having a bad day." So so we the convention first started off. We have a lot of VIPs, right? So there's fucking people all over the place. Coming upstairs, I'm working and I'm trying to get vendors in their places and shit, and then people are coming over to me and they're starting to, it's starting to flow, right? You're just like, oh shit, this is looking good. So
Man.
Ben runs over to me, my brother, and he's like, Mike, we have a problem. We got a problem downstairs. You got to come down. You got to come down. And then at the same time, Mike Grella's like, hey, Mike, here's your original. And he's handing me the original of that print, right? So I'm holding on to it, and I'm like, oh, great. And as he's fucking talking to me, my brother, I put the print down inside the box of, I put the thing in the box of prints. Well, guess what, guys? Someone has that print in their shit, the original, not the print, the original. So that was that was fucked up.
So if you have the original and you return it to Mike, he'll give you an exclusive figure.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of a kind. I'll do a one of a kind fucking figure if someone has that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty fucked though. I was like, man, shit could yeah, shit happens, right?
So remember, Mike ate that for making the show better than what it could ever be. So look at Mike, always giving. But seriously, if anyone does come across the original print, let Mike know, and we'll hook you up with some from goodies.
Yeah, someone that's watching the video on YouTube or something like that. Oh, actually, no, it's going to be pulled from YouTube, isn't it? You know how many copyright strikes I've been getting just last week alone? Lots.
It's because of the Mantech video.
Lots of the old stuff when we ran the old Zoloverse shows during the pandemic. They're hitting me now. They're like, oh, that because there had to be music playing in the background. Couldn't do anything without fucking music.
Funny enough, some little kid probably has that. One of the jokes I heard going around the show was that a little kid would be using it as a coloring book. So that sucks.
I'd be that kid.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I'd be like, oh, look at this one. It looks real.
It's me. I have it.
Fuck this thing. Fuck it. That's what
Mommy, it's a coloring book.
Uh-huh.
But no, this was an amazing show. Mike, do you have any other figures to sell? Because we're about to hit that
buddy. It's all right. I you know what? After it was all said and done, I say to myself, if that was the worst of my problems, I don't have any problems, right? It's just it was money, but it is what it is, What was that, Craig? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Do you have any other figures up for the night? Because I know we're about to hit that 3-hour StreamYard mark, and they're gonna cut the video.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Okay, guys, I'll tell you what. If you guys are wanting any accessories whatsoever, hit me up. I have helmets, and I have I have some blue helmets. I have shit. What else? I have a oh shit. Hold on. Wave. I have blue helmets. I have I have some red belts. I have some blue belts. So any of this stuff is like 15 each. If you guys are needing that. Oh, sure. Okay, so he needs a necromancer help. Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, so there's Stygian Defender, right? So we had Stygian Defender for 100. All right. So if you guys missed that, so there's Stygian Defender. We had the Warrior Knight. 65 for Warrior Knight. Okay. So we had him.
Oh, I'm gonna get out of here. Hold on.
Damn it. The Warrior Knight, right? Should just pull these out of the packages here. but you guys could see him. Hopefully soon, Mike. Hopefully soon I'll be able to announce what we're having next. Trying to work on specific things, but so we have that guy. All right. So if there's anybody else here, yeah, I'm about to close this off now. We're about out of time.
And don't forget, we got the 3 exclusive figures for the Frazetta Museum, and we have a few left of those.
Boss. I also have Boss as well. All right. So if you guys missed, oh shit! Oh the what? Oh, the New Wave. Yes, I have those too. Like Slayer. We have Slayer. Necros. Yeah, we have all those. If you guys are one of those, they're $35 each on those. So just hit me up. Let me know. So there's 30. Let's see here. Necros, Slayer, Icy Men of the North, Aemon Dark, and why am I drawing a blank? I'm trying to think of the last character that was in the series here. Oh my god.
It wasn't Zolan.
Snow Wolf Warrior. He's the last one. Yeah. And then of course we had the original. We had the Frazetta pieces, which was the Ow! You mean
Zolan.
Zolan, yeah. You mean Zolan. Yeah, I have those too. They're the same. They're 35 also. If you're needing any of those guys, just let me know, and then I'll make sure I get you that. I'll hook you up. Flock Wolf. Yeah, yes. I'm lost, man. I'm lost. This is like I'm in fucking days. But yeah, if anybody needs anything, just hit me up after or send me a message, and I'll take care of all that regular Slayer and accessories. So I have and if you guys are needing them loose, I might have a couple loose pieces too. So hit me yeah, right. Hit me up on that. Yeah, Mike, I'm the same way. I'm losing my mind.
We're all lost.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and doing this, being part of this, because I definitely yep, loose. So we'll do yeah, I'll do that. All right. So if you guys are wanting any of the figures loose, okay, they'll be 30 each. I have any of the other characters are 30 each. All right. So just letting you guys know that. You can hit me up tomorrow. Once we tally up what you have or whatever, if you got other things or if you got stuff from the Zolocon, we'll just take it from there. But again, I thank everybody here tonight. Thank you, Craig, for being awesome and being able to do this and help me out here tonight. That's awesome. And I want to
thank you for having me as always. I appreciate
everything over there. So that's really awesome. Marissa isn't here, but I would thank her too.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, stop that. And yeah, I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Hop on next week when we do the Mike and Craig versus the Past show, and then we're gonna have another one of these Zoloverse shows here in a little bit because I want to tease some more stuff. So, absolutely, guys, thank you so much again. And
thanks, guys.
If you want to roll that next thing, if you want to roll that, let's do it.
Next week on the 16th. Remember, tune in to find out the first ever Zola World 3 3/4 inch fully licensed action figure line, what it's going to be, what the plans are, and it's going to be fucking awesome. I mean, like, it's blowing my mind.
You
so,
too, buddy. You rock also. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much as always. And Mike, how do you want to close out the show tonight, buddy?
Let's roll the promo, man, and let's call it.
All right, let's do this. And
have
a good night, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for joining us.
YouTube's hottest show, Mike and Craig vs. the Past theme song, performed by the one and only Ninja Turtles, is finally here.
Mike and Craig are so handsome.
For just $21.98, YouTube can enjoy the sweet sounds of latex turtles playing fake instruments. You can get this theme song and terrible toy memories only on Napster.
I have nightmares that you wouldn't believe.
I'm gonna kill myself on stage!
Be sure to check out Mike and Craig vs. the Past, only on YouTube.